Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto wants to become a Pokemon master. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Rinne-Kami and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Show a size 5 type loop. A boy whispered to himself. The boy, equipped with blonde hair and bright blue, his tongue protruding out his mouth, whispered to himself. He sat in a blue and orange hoodie, with blue 3/4 length trousers and blue trainers. He was currently in his final exam of the academy. After this he could finally begin his journey, his story of surpassing everyone who came before him. His instructor, Iruka, kept a vigilant eye on everyone participating, particularly him. Does he think I'm gonna cheat? This test is easy, he thought as he answered the question. Water is super effective against fire, fire is super effective against grass, grass is super effective against ground, ground is super effective against electric, and electric is super effective against water. Easy, okay, last question. Naruto thought. With this last question his time at the academy was over unless he failed, but he knew he wouldn't. Give an example of two types, where when facing each other, Type A has no effect against Type B, and Type B only causes regular damage against Type A. Naruto stood puzzled, but only for a second. Type A could be poison and Type B could be steel. That was it. He finished. He placed his pen down and looked around. A lot of people seemed to be finished as well. The people who didn't seem to be having any problems answering the questions. He waited quietly until a bell rang. Alright, that's it. If you haven't finished, I'm sorry, but I can give you no more time. Iruka spoke calmly as he began taking in the papers. No one seemed to be that bothered. They all finished the test with time to spare. Once he had collected the tests and Iruka spoke. And that is your final test. We shall mark these and you will receive your test results tomorrow. Come prepared with your hopes up. There's no point in imagining the worst. No, go on and get out. Iruka finished with a smile. The children charged out of the room, straight out the academy, shouting how they were one step closer to become a Pokemon master. They no doubt ran straight home, to tell their parents that they had their final test. Break. Mom, I'm home! Naruto shouted as he entered the house. I'm in the living room. His mom, Kushina, replied. Naruto casually walked into the living room. His mom was sat on the couch, flicking through TV channels. I had my final exam today. We go back tomorrow to get our results. I'm one step closer to becoming the champion of the world. Naruto exclaimed happily. Champion of the world, you say? Kushina said with a chuckle. To do that you're gonna have to beat him. He doesn't scare me. I'll make my Pokemon super tough and wipe the floor with him. Naruto spoke calmly, certain of what he said. Kushina giggled at her son's antics. She continued flicking the channels. When speaking of the devil, the topic of their conversation appeared on the TV. So Minato-san, another year of being the champion of the world has ended. Will this year be the last one? A reporter questioned. I don't know. Every time my Pokemon when they get stronger, so the person who beats me is gonna have to be mega strong. Minato replied. Anything to say to the fans and hopefuls? The reporter asked. Yeah, one thing. Listen up, newbies. I'm looking for a real challenge this year, so therefore I am issuing a challenge to you. Get strong and come battle me. I'll be waiting. Minato smiled. It was his trademark smile. A wink and a smile so wide that it showed both sets of teeth. However, the gesture with his hand was the thing that caught Naruto's attention. The only two fingers he had held up was his index and ring finger. Naruto instantly remembered the day he was first shown that. Flashback. Minato was standing in front of his son ready to go back to the Pokemon League. Dad, you just got back, why do you have to leave again? Naruto pleaded to his dad to stay. 'Cause being the champion's a full-time responsibility, but I promise that I'll come visit more often, K. Minato said with a smile. Okay. Naruto sniffled as his dad ruffled his hair. One more thing. Minato said as he lifted his head. He clenched his fist, leaving the index and ring fingers up. See this? The next time you see this, it means I'm issuing a challenge directly to you. I want you to get a strong Pokemon team and come battle me on the grandest stage of them all. We'll make it a promise. Promise. Naruto said as he did the same hand gesture. Flashback end. Naruto subconsciously performed the same hand sign. I'm getting ready. Dad. Naruto whispered quietly, smiling slightly. Break. Naruto sat in his homeroom at the academy. Iruka was going through the exam results. And so Sasuke Uchiha is named top of the class and Naruto Namikaze is named the dead last of the class. Iruka spoke calmly. What? Naruto shouted. That last sentence got his undivided attention. Why am I the dead last? I passed, didn't I? Yes, Naruto, but just barely. Iruka looked at the boy. You answered all the questions correctly, however you didn't explain your answers, therefore you lost marks. Naruto groaned in annoyance. It could have been worse, he could have not passed at all, but to be named the dead last, especially with his father's reputation, was embarrassing. Professor Sarutobi, a head researcher of Pokemon, entered the room. Everyone went silent. Sarutobi was respected for his vast knowledge of Pokemon and for his warm smile. Well done for all passing. Sarutobi spoke with a smile. Please, if you will come back tomorrow for the final announcements and collection of your Pokédex and Pokeballs. And if you can bring your starting partner, it can be whatever you want it to be. If you cannot bring one, I will supply you with a starter Pokemon as well. Sarutobi finished with a smile, before leaving the room. Everyone in the room gulped. They needed to find a starter for tomorrow. And quick. Break. Naruto walked back into his house in Twin Leaf Town depressed. His mom asked him if he wanted dinner, but he wasn't hungry. He went straight to his room and collapsed on his bed. The rumor was that Pokemon given to you by Professor Sarutobi were weak and useless. And he had no way of getting his own starter Pokemon. Mom released all her Pokemon years ago. Naruto thought with a sigh. And Dad's not here to give me a starter Pokemon either. Naruto sighed again as he rested his head on the pillow. I'm gonna be so far behind the others with Professor Sarutobi's super lame Pokemon. Naruto thought again, as he began ticking down the clock to the beginning of his Pokemon journey. Although he wasn't looking forward to tomorrow. Break. Naruto was ready to get his super lame Pokemon. It was time to go to Sarutobi's laboratory. His was about to leave the house when his mom called out to him. Hey Naruto, wait, aren't you going to say goodbye to him? Kushina spoke. Goodbye to who? A puzzled Naruto replied. He came home last night. You went to bed so early that you missed him arrive. He says he has something for you. Kushina spoke with a smile. As if on cue, a thud was heard from upstairs, in the direction of a room that Naruto knew only one person went in. Footsteps were heard that led out the room and approached the stairs. A foot landed on the stairs. Followed by another, followed by knees and pajama shorts, hands and a white vest appeared next, and finally his face. He had blonde hair and blue eyes, but had young features, around 20, which were all still filled with drowsiness. Naruto smiled and ran to the man and hugged him instantly. Faulkner! Naruto yelled happily. Yo Naruto, Mom said you passed the exam, so I came to see my little brother gets his first Pokemon. Faulkner replied with a smile. You got me a Pokemon! Naruto yelled with glee. Faulkner walked back upstairs. After a few rustling sounds he came back down. He cleared his throat and began. As is tradition of the Namikaze family, the men are to start their Pokemon journeys with an electric Pokemon. Dad started with the Elekid, I started with an Pikachu, so you should start with one as well. He finished, tossing Naruto the Pokeball. Oh. What is it? Is it a Zapdos, or a Electivire, or is it your Raichu? Naruto stared in awe at the Pokeball. Faulkner chuckled. Open it and find out. Naruto threw the ball into the air. With a flash, the Pokemon inside was revealed. It was a blue cat-shaped Pokemon with darker blue fur at the back and a yellow star at the end of its tail. It had a yellow ring going around its two front paws. Its eyes were yellow in color. Shinx! It spoke happily as it looked at Naruto. Naruto looked at the Pokemon carefully. The larger tuft of hair on its head and fur on its back paws indicated it was male. Cool! Thanks, Faulkner! Naruto shouted as he picked up the Pokemon. With this super Pokemon I'll beat everyone. I can't wait to rub it in Sasuke and Kiba's faces. Naruto shouted as he bolted out the house, running towards the laboratory in Sandgem Town. Faulkner watched his brother speed off. He has way too much energy, he said. Oh really, I remember you acting the same way when Dad gave you Pikachu, Kushina said with a giggle. Faulkner's sweat dropped. Mom. That was embarrassing. Who knows who could have heard that? Break. Naruto arrived at the laboratory to discover that he was one of the last to arrive. He saw Sakura, Hinata, Sasuke, Ino, Shikamaru, Choji, Kiba and Shino huddled together and walked up to them. Hey guys. Naruto called to them, gaining their attention. Hey Naruto, that your starter Pokemon? Kiba snorted. Looks pretty weak to me. Oh yeah. Naruto shouted in retaliation. Shinx seemed to growl at him as well. Shinx will beat the crap out of whatever you got. What did you get, by the way? Kiba laughed as he threw his Pokeball in the air. Go Akamaru! Grow live! Akamaru called in response. Naruto looked at the Pokemon, not impressed. Is that it? What did you guys get? He asked, looking at everyone else. One by one they all released their first Pokemon. Houndour, fight! Sasuke spoke, not really caring. A few girls squealed that Sasuke-kun's Pokemon was as cool as him. Cherubi, dance! Sakura called. Azurill, dance! Ino called, not allowing Sakura to upstage her. Now, Combi! Shino spoke calmly and dully. The red mark on the lowest face revealed it was a female Combi. Slacketh! Shikamaru spoke with a yawn. The Pokemon replied with a yawn. Aralts, go! Hinata spoke meekly. Gulpin, now! Choji said in between shoveling chips into his mouth. The Pokemon they got really seemed to match them. He was about to challenge them all to a match when Irika appeared with Professor Sarutobi. If you will all please come in, we will give you your 5 Pokeballs and Pokédex and tell you the final announcement. Break. They had received their Pokeballs and their Pokédex. Naruto's was orange. It seemed everyone had their own custom color. Sasuke had a black one. Sakura had a pink one. Hinata had a light blue. Shikamaru had a gray one. Choji had a brown-red one. Ino had a purple one. Kiba had a dark red one. Shino had a moss green one. Now you may not see each other for a long time, so I would like you to state your name, what types you prefer and what your aspirations are. Irika stated. We will go in alphabetical order. Shino Aburaim. Shino stood up. My name is Shino Aburaim. Shino spoke monotonous. I prefer bug type. My goal is to challenge all the gyms using only bug type Pokemon. Shino finished and sat down. No one really expected more than that. I'm Choji Akimichi. I don't have a specific type. My goal is to become top coordinator. Choji spoke while eating snacks. I am Sakura Haruno. I like cute Pokemon and my goal is to become top coordinator, among other things. Sakura finished, glancing at Sasuke and blushing. And my name is Hinata Hyuga. I like psychic types. And my goal is to become a respected coordinator. Kiba Inuzuka. I like dog-shaped Pokemon. My goal is to become the champion of the world. Yon Shikamaru Nara, no specific type. No real goals. Shikamaru, you're challenging the Pokemon League. Irika interrupted. Hey, it's my turn. My name is Naruto Namikaze, I have no specific type. My goal is to become the champion of the world. Sasuke Uchiha. I like dark and fire types. My goal is my ambition, to defeat my brother. And who is your brother? Shino asked. Itachi Uchiha. Sasuke spoke. The murmurs started. Everyone knew of Itachi. He was a member of a group called Akatsuki, an incredibly strong group of trainers above the gym leaders, even above the 5 Kage. They gave away symbols if you managed to defeat them. They were also only 10 members at once. And I'm Ino Yamanaka. I have no specific type preference, and my goal is to become top coordinator. Good, those are all fine dreams. And now for the final announcement. Professor Sarutobi began. You are all rookies, beginners, therefore to keep you all safe at the beginning of your journeys, you travel in groups of 3 until you all have at least 3 badges or 2 ribbons. The groups are Sakura Haruno, Naruto Namikaze, and Sasuke Uchiha. Ino began protesting about not being in Sasuke's team, before Sarutobi continued. The next team is Shino Aburaim, Hinata Hyuga, and Kiba Inuzuka. And so the final team is Choji Akimichi, Shikamaru Nara, Ino Yamanaka. You may leave at any time. That is all. Good luck to every one of you. I know you will make me, Irika, and yourselves proud. Break. Kushina began sobbing and hugged her son when he told her he was going to leave. She knew this was coming, but she wasn't prepared for the day when he said it. Naruto could have sworn he heard Sasuke chuckling behind him. Where's Faulkner? I want a goodbye to him as well, Naruto said. He's already left. Kushina sniffled. He said he had to go finish his own journey, but he said he's sure you'll meet him sooner or later and is expecting a good battle from you. Okay. Naruto spoke slightly downhearted. Well, I'm not gonna keep him waiting. I gotta get super strong. Naruto shouted as he ran to Sakura and Sasuke. Kushina watched her son run off to his new friends before a figure appeared in their doorway. Why didn't you come say goodbye to him? Kushina asked. Because if he knew I was here, he would badger me for a fight, and he's not ready for that, was the reply she got. Kushina sighed. Minato. Break. So let's get this show on the round. Naruto spoke as he punched the air. 2. Where are we going again? Idiot! Sakura shouted as she punched him in the head. We're going to Jublife City, there are a few things we need there, then we are going to Orberg City for the first gym. Okay. Naruto groaned as he rubbed his head. We also need a secondary Pokemon. We won't make it far with just one. Sasuke spoke. Well, I'm gonna be the first to catch one. Naruto ran ahead, eager to have his first Pokemon battle. Sasuke grunted in annoyance but soon ran after him. Sakura ran after Sasuke. They all began their journey on a fast pace. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura were walking down Route 202. They were closing in on Jublife. Sakura had insisted that they go there and receive Pokéches. Tools that would vital in the future. How long till we get there? Naruto moaned. If you don't shut up, I'll tie you to that tree and leave you there. Sasuke retaliated instantly. Naruto had been whining for the past 20 minutes. Starly! A small, gray bird Pokemon jumped out in front of them. It looked at them quite scared. The big mark on its head means it's male, Sakura informed. I don't care, Naruto shouted. I just want to catch it. Go Shinx. Naruto threw his Pokeball into the air. Shinx! Shinx called as it appeared. Shinx! I want to catch that Pokemon. So use Tackle, Naruto called. Shinx charged at the Pokemon that seemed to be startled. Shinx hit it dead on, and the Pokemon fell over. It complained to itself before it charged at Shinx at a much faster pace. Shinx dodge it, Naruto called, but Shinx was already hit with the attack. That was quick attack, Naruto, Sakura told him. Naruto growled to himself. Shinx use Tackle again, he ordered. Shinx once again attacked the Pokemon. It was down for a little longer this time. Naruto threw the Pokeball at the Pokemon. With a beam of red, the Pokemon was sent into the Pokeball. The Pokeball rattled for a few seconds before stopping. Yada! Naruto shouted in glee as he ran out to pick up his new Pokemon. Naruto pulled out his Pokédex and scanned the ball. Starly, the starling Pokemon, Starly flock in great numbers. Though small, they flap their wings with great power. Their singing is noisy and annoying. Naruto began dancing around chanting about his new Pokemon. Idiot. Let's get out of here first. Sasuke spoke as he began walking off. You're just jealous cause I got a new Pokemon and you didn't. Naruto replied with arrogance and cockiness. Break. There's the entrance to Jublife. Sakura yelled happily. They had been walking all day. She began running forward when an injured Pokemon jumped out and ran into her. Both fell to the floor with a thud. Sakura looked at the brown Pokemon. It had a round body with a long tail and long ears. I looked very badly hurt. Sentret. It whimpered weakly against Sakura. A Sentret. Sasuke looked at the Pokemon. Someone must be using a poke radar nearby, Sasuke said as he began looking around for anyone else. When he turned around, the Sentret was gone and Sakura was holding a Pokeball. Scan reached for her Pokédex and scanned her Pokeball for information on her new Pokemon. Sentret, the scout Pokemon, a very cautious Pokemon, it raises itself up using its tail to get a better view of its surroundings. It was too injured to leave it here. Plus it's so cute. I just had to have it. Sakura smiled at him. Although Sasuke didn't really care. If it's injured, we need to get to a Pokemon Center soon. Sasuke spoke. Sakura nodded and they began walking into Jublife. When they reached the Pokemon Center, Naruto and Sakura gave their Pokemon to Nurse Joy to be healed. Sasuke had walked off on his own to look around. Break. After getting their Pokemon healed, Naruto and Sakura were walking around Jublife. They had restocked on supplies and answered 3 easy questions to get a Pokédex each, with a spare for Sasuke as well. Naruto's was blue and Sakura's was pink, however Sasuke's was black. Hello, beautiful. A boy shouted at Sakura, startling her greatly. My name is Rock Lee. I would like to request a date from you, please. To show you a truly strong trainer. Lee spoke as he winked to Sakura. Sakura looked greatly perturbed at the boy. His eyebrows were huge. Thanks, but I'm waiting for someone to arrive, so I can't go. Sorry. Sakura let the boy down gently. Naruto, however, took the last thing he said as an insult. Hey, you saying I'm weak, 'cause I'll wipe the floor with you right here, right now. Naruto shouted in retaliation. Very well. Lee spoke. I never deny a challenge. We shall have a 2-on-2 double Pokemon match. Lee spoke as he cleared room between them. Everyone else in the street seemed to move out the way as well. As the person to instigate the challenge, it is only fair that you should release the first Pokemon. Lee spoke. Fine. Naruto returned. Go Shinx, Starly. He called as he threw his Pokeballs. Both Pokemon appeared in a flash, ready to fight. Lee smiled. They appear to be strong, however, my Pokemon are stronger. Combusken, Tyrogue battle. Lee called his Pokemon out. One was a yellow and red chicken standing on its back legs, the other was purple and looked like a little kid. Naruto and Sakura pulled out their Pokédexes. Combusken, the young foul Pokemon, its kicking mastery lets it loose 10 kicks per second. It emits sharp cries to intimidate foes. Tyrogue, the scuffle Pokemon, it is always bursting with energy. To make itself stronger, it keeps on fighting even if it loses. They're both fighting types, so with Starly I got this in the bag, Naruto thought to himself. I'll move first. Starly used quick attack on Combusken and Shinx used tackle on Tyrogue. Tyrogue, Combusken dodge. Lee spoke calmly. Both Pokemon obeyed and did so with ease. They're fast. Naruto thought. Tyrogue, use Mach Punch on Starly. Combusken, use Fire Punch on Shinx. Lee ordered. Naruto watched as his Pokemon had no time to dodge, he barely had time to tell them to. Both of Lee's Pokemon closed the distance between them and Naruto's, and with one hit, both of Naruto's Pokemon fell to the floor, knocked out. Naruto fell to his knees as well. He lost his first battle ever. Naruto-kun, I apologize for my win, but I wanted to show you that although brave and courageous, rushing in head first without knowing anything about your opponent will only leave you at a disadvantage. Lee spoke solemnly as he reached into his back pocket, pulling out a badge case and opening it, revealing to Naruto its contents. Naruto looked at the case in surprise. You already have 3 badges. Naruto spoke quietly. He looked around, the crowd were looking at him funny. He had just humiliated himself in front of them all. He could only imagine the reaction if they knew he was the champion's son. Lee put away the case and looked at Sakura. Perhaps our date at another time then. Lee spoke before turning to Naruto. Naruto-kun, I would suggest you enter the rookie team tournament here in Jub Life. It is a great way to get experience quick and the winning team receive an unique Pokemon. My team won it last year. And what Pokemon did you get for winning? Sakura asked. Lee smiled and pulled out 2 Pokeballs. Go, Lee said as he opened the balls, revealing 2 Tyrogue. My teammates, and I won these Tyrogue, Sakura-san, however they gave theirs to me, due to my love of fighting-type Pokemon. I wonder what will be given away this year. Lee mused as he returned all his Pokemon and walked away. One last thing, Naruto-kun, I am still considered one of the weaker trainers. My former teammate can easily defeat me, for now anyway. Naruto still sat on the ground. He felt miserable. Sakura came and hoisted him up. She helped him and his Pokemon back to the Pokemon Center. Break. When Sasuke first heard about Naruto's loss, he wanted to find this Lee and challenge him himself. However, he also would thank him, because he had managed to keep Naruto quiet all day. Sakura was in the middle of telling him about the rookie tournament in Jub Life. I would be good for experience, Sasuke thought. Where do we sign up? Sasuke asked. We could use the experience, yet a winner will be better, so idiot, get your spirits back up. Sasuke, Naruto and Sakura walked up to the registration sheet. Most were people they never heard of. Hey look, Shikamaru, Ino and Choji have signed up as well, Sakura exclaimed, pointing at their names. Yeah, but they have no chance at beating us, either do you. A voice called from behind them. They saw Kiba, Shino and Hinata. You guys are signing up as well? Sakura asked. Yes. Sasuke, I expect a decent battle from you. Shino spoke. Sasuke nodded in return. Naruto, I expect to wipe the floor with you. Kiba shouted at the blonde, who didn't respond. I said I expect to wipe the floor with you. Hello, Naruto. Naruto. What's up with him? Kiba asked. Naruto's upset cause he had his first match and had his ass handed to him. Sasuke spoke as if it was unimportant. Kiba was taken back a little. He liked making out that Naruto was weak, but he knew it was the opposite, plus it wasn't fun if Naruto didn't retaliate. Well, we'll see you at the tournament tomorrow. Shino spoke before turning. His teammates soon followed after him. Break. Naruto stood there with Sasuke and Sakura. They were both looking around. He, on the other hand, didn't want to be taking part in this tournament. His defeat against Lee had affected him greatly. He felt like he should give up on becoming a trainer. There's quite a few trainers here, isn't there? Sakura said, looking around. There doesn't seem to be any major challenges. Sasuke returned. He looked at Naruto and smacked him in the arm. Listen, Naruto. I don't care if you lost your first fight, and neither should you. It was your first battle after all. Sasuke spoke to him quite seriously. You don't understand, if he found Naruto was saying before he was cut off by a microphone. Thank you for all participating in today's tournament. The referee began. As you know, the winner of the tournament will receive a fabulous unique Pokemon. Now there are 16 teams participating. So the first battle will be a double battle with each trainer using one Pokemon each. When the team numbers goes down to 4, each trainer shall use 2 Pokemon each. The team players must be interchanging, so no 2 of 3 trainers are constantly battling. The first matchups are as follows. Ethan, Lyra and Silver versus Jimmy, Kyle and Helen. Kiba, Shino and Hinata versus Hikari, Takashi and Aoji. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura versus Chris, Reagan and Gray. Fujin, Hakuto and Inomatsu versus May, Brendan and Wally. Daniela, Cruz and Chloe versus Garvey, Kim and Lou. Red, Leaf and Blue versus Macy, Opal and Sawyer. Shikamaru, Ino and Choji versus Chamu, Isaga and Jigimo. Thad, Zane and Dahlia versus Dawn, Lucas and Barry. The first match will begin shortly. May the other please leave to prepare while the first 2 teams remain for battle. A nurse, who appeared to be quite young, about 25, suddenly ran onto the stage. She seemed to be quite giddy about something, even more so than usual. Naruto. She spoke in a happier tone. Your father is on the phone. She finished with a giggle before she skipped off. My dad. Naruto said, quite worried. Naruto's dad. Sakura and Sasuke said in unison. Naruto never mentioned his dad before. What were you saying, Naruto, before the mic went on? Sakura asked. Come with me. Naruto sighed. You'll find out. Break. Naruto had found out which phone his dad was on. He walked up to it with Sakura and Sasuke and flicked on the screen. The screen was static for a few seconds before it connected. What's up, Naruto? Your mom had told me Faulkner gave you your first Pokemon. Shame, I had one for you as well, but mine wasn't an electric type, so it's good Faulkner kept the tradition going. Minato said on the phone. Thanks, Dad, Naruto said sadly. Sasuke and Sakura looked at the screen with shock. Naruto was speaking to the champion of the world. And he called him Dad. So these are your teammates. Hi, I'm Minato, Naruto's dad. Minato said with a smile. Hi, Minato-san. Sakura said weakly. What's up, Naruto? Minato asked again. He's been down since he lost his first Pokemon battle. Sasuke spoke again. Oh, well, Naruto, although that's a sting, it's nothing to get all depressed about. Hey, raise something that'll cheer you up. I lost my first Pokemon battle as well. Minato confessed. He didn't seem embarrassed about it at all. It got Naruto's attention. His head sprung up. His dad also lost his first match. It's true. Minato continued. I was walking along and I saw this guy with white hair peeping on girls in a bathhouse. To defend the women, I challenged him to a battle. And he wiped the floor with me. But I didn't get angry or sad. I knew that I had to get stronger to defeat him. Naruto smiled. At least he knew now he wasn't a failure. Thanks, Dad. No problem. Minato spoke with a smile. Remember, Naruto, I want a battle out of you as well, so does Faulkner, so you can't waste time moping around. Yeah, Naruto said in return. Well, I gotta go. Another hopeful thinks he can beat me. Minato laughed. If you ever want that Pokemon, just tell me or your mom and I'll send it over. Sasuke, Sakura, look after Naruto, will you? I know he can be a bit loud. But he'll grow on you. Minato spoke. Sakura nodded at him, and he smiled before hanging up. There was an awkward silence before Sakura spoke out. Why didn't you tell us that your dad was the champion of the world? She shouted at Naruto. Because it brings unwanted attention. Naruto replied, shifting his eyes to the right. Sakura turned and saw everyone looking at them, especially Naruto, in awe and fear. She blushed, realizing that she just made them the target of the tournament. Who is Faulkner? Sasuke asked. My big brother. Naruto replied. You have a big brother? Sasuke replied, his eyebrow rose. If Naruto had a big brother, who is also the son of the champion, then he will be strong, a good challenge. The PA suddenly came on. Would Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura and Chris, Reagan and Gray please come to the field for battle, thank you. Well, it's us. Who wants to go first? Naruto asked. Me and Sakura will go first. Sasuke replied. I don't think you're in your right state of mind yet. Sasuke spoke. Sakura nodded, a chance to team up with Sasuke, she wasn't going to miss it. Break. Naruto sat on the bench, watching his teammates get ready for battle. He would have to fight in the next round, but he wondered who he should team up with. Sasuke looked like the type of guy who wanted to do the whole thing by himself, and Sakura looked like she would just play a support role in fights, not good team-ups. They appeared to be fighting the two called Chris and Gray, a boy and a girl. Go Beedrill. Gray called. Go Butterfree. Chris called. A Beedrill and a Butterfree, are they not taking us seriously? Sasuke snorted. Go Houndour. Sakura pulled out her Pokédex to scan the 3 Pokémon in front of her. Beedrill, the poison bee Pokémon, flies at high speed and attacks using its large venomous stingers on its forelegs and tail. Butterfree, the butterfly Pokémon, the wings are protected by rain-repellent dust. As a result, this Pokémon can fly about even in rain. In battle, it flaps its wings at high speed to release highly toxic dust in the air. Houndour, the dark Pokémon, it is smart enough to hunt in packs. It uses different kinds of cries for communicating with others of its kind and for pursuing its prey. I see. Sakura said to herself. Go Cherubi. Now that all the Pokémon were present, the referee began the match. Beedrill, Twin Needle. Gray ordered. Butterfree, tackle. Chris shouted. Sakura, I'll handle this, I have the advantage. But you have Cherubi use Helping Hand on Houndour to raise his attack. Sasuke spoke. Sakura nodded. Cherubi, use Helping Hand. Cherubi jumped over and patted Houndour. Houndour suddenly roared ferociously. Houndour, use Howl. Sasuke ordered. Houndour roared even louder. Now use Leer. Houndour glared at Beedrill and Butterfree, both stopped in their movements. Use Ember on Beedrill. Sasuke shouted. Fire shot out of Houndour's mouth and hit Beedrill dead on. With its enhanced strength and Beedrill's lowered defense, it was a one-hit knockout. Cherubi, use Leech Seed on Butterfree. Sakura spoke. Cherubi complied and shot seeds at Butterfree, which released vines and entangled it. There, Sasuke. Butterfree is weaker and can't move as well, finish it now. Sasuke nodded. Houndour, use Ember again on Butterfree. Fire once again shot out of Houndour's mouth. It hit Butterfree, which seemed to have a little strength left after the attack. However, its remaining strength was sapped away by Leech Seed and Butterfree promptly fainted. Sasuke and Sakura are the winners and move on to the second round. The referee spoke. Sasuke returned his Pokémon and walked away, while Sakura thanked Chris and Gray for a good match. Your Houndour's strong, Sasuke. Naruto spoke. The match was over quicker than expected. They underestimated us. They got what they deserved. Sasuke responded. Well, looks like that's it for you. You can't compete in the last 2 matches cause you only got 1 Pokémon. Naruto smiled. Sasuke smirked in return. You think all I did was train last night? I caught a new Pokémon as well. He finished and walked away. The next match was starting. Break. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura sat with Kiba, Shino and Hinata. They had also been sent through to the next round. I got to get me a Houndour as well. Kiba spoke loudly in awe at Sasuke. Sasuke looked away. He didn't care what Kiba had to say. Look, Ino and Shikamaru beat their opponents. Hinata said, pointing to the screen. Well, looks like we all go through, but we are going to win, Kiba said happily. We should prepare for our next match. Shino spoke. That Lyra and Silver are strong, no doubt their third teammate is as well. I will battle them. Why? Because I willingly stepped aside to let you two battle. It is only fair I fight next, but who will fight against them with me in the next round? I will, Kiba immediately responded. Me and Akamaru will take down anything they got. What about our match? That Mei and Brendan seem strong as well. Sakura spoke. Naruto will have to take part in the next round, but do you want to go with him? You go with him, Sakura. If we go through, the competition will be tougher, so me and Naruto will make a better combination then, Sasuke responded. Okay then. Sakura smiled. The final match of the first round ended. The PA went off again. That concludes the first round. The next round's matches will go as follows. Ethan, Lyra and Silver versus Kiba, Shino and Hinata. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura versus Brendan, Mei and Wally. Garvey, Kim and Lou versus Red, Leaf and Blue. Shikamaru, Ino and Choji versus Dawn, Lucas and Barry. Will the first two teams head to the field? Thank you. Well, looks like it's us. Kiba spoke as he and his team walked to the field. Naruto sat quiet. He was still nervous. Would he lose this match as well? What his dad said had helped encourage him, but he still felt as though he was going to be a burden. He was pulled out by his train of thought by Sakura. He didn't realize how long he was thinking about it. Shino and Kiba are getting beaten bad. Sakura spoke as she watched the opposing team dominate the match. It's over for them, Sasuke said bluntly. You and Naruto should get ready. Sakura sighed. Why couldn't Sasuke be a little more caring? He wasn't wrong though, as the match concluded in Ethan and Lyra's favor. The PA went off again. Would Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Brendan, Mei and Wally please enter the field? Break. Naruto and Sakura stood, facing their opponents. Starly, go! Naruto shouted. Cherubi, now! Sakura shouted. Both sprang ready for action. Their opponents, Brendan and Wally, threw their pokeballs as well. With a flash, a Trico and a Ralts appeared. Trico, the wood gecko Pokemon, it makes its nest in a giant tree in the forest. It ferociously guards against anything nearing its territory. It is said to be the protector of the forest trees. Ralts, the feeling Pokemon, Ralts has the ability to sense the emotions of people. If its trainer is in a cheerful mood, this Pokemon grows cheerful and joyous in the same way. Naruto and Sakura put away their Pokédexes. Sakura, I'll deal with the Trico, you focus on the Ralts, okay? Naruto said. Begin! Te referee exclaimed. Starly, use quick attack! Naruto shouted. Trico dodge and use pound. Brendan spoke, his Trico did so easily. I need to slow it down. Naruto thought to himself. Fortunately, Sakura thought so too. Cherubi, use Leech Seed on Trico while it's airborne. Sakura yelled. Cherubi complied and locked seeds at Trico, which hit its target, becoming entangled. Thanks, Sakura. Naruto smiled. It's okay. Sakura replied. Cherubi, use Tackle on Ralts. Cherubi charged forwards, hitting its target. Starly, use Quick Attack on Trico. Naruto shouted. Starly sped forward, hitting Trico, which was then sapped by Leech Seed. Trico, use Bullet Seed! Brendan shouted. Ralts growl! Wally shouted too. Trico launched a flurry of seeds from its mouth. Starly dodged them. Starly, finish Trico off with Wing Attack! Naruto yelled. Starly swooped in and attacked. It was super effective. Trico fell down and fainted. Cherubi used Tackle again. Sakura exclaimed. Cherubi followed the orders and hit Ralts again. Ralts too fell down and fainted. Trico and Ralts cannot continue. Naruto and Sakura are the victors, the referee called. Yes. Naruto shouted in glee, his first win. Now he was level with his wins and losses. Sakura had once again gone and thanked Brendan and Wally for a good math. Naruto, however, was too busy dancing around to care. Break. The team was watching the screen sadly. Ino and Choji put up a good fight, but Dawn and Barry seemed to outmaneuver them every time. The match was over after a long struggle. They were the last team of rookies from the academy left. Me and Sakura will go next. Sasuke spoke. The final match will be the toughest. I suspect we will be facing Red, Leaf and Blue then. They are the strongest competition. Me and Naruto will take care of them. How are you so sure that we will go through? Ethan, Lyra and Silver are strong too. Sakura spoke quietly. Because I am expecting to win this whole thing, the more wins under our belts the better. Sasuke retaliated. Sasuke's right, Sakura, we should aim to win. Naruto agreed. Attention. The second round is now over. We will begin with the semifinals. As of now, each trainer will use 2 Pokemon in a double battle, no substitutions are allowed. The semifinal matches are Ethan, Lyra and Silver versus Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura. Red, Leaf and Blue versus Dawn, Lucas and Barry. The first match will begin momentarily. Please prepare. Let's go. Sasuke spoke. As he walked to the field, Naruto decided to stay behind to get some last-minute training in. Break. Naruto returned to see Sasuke and Sakura watching the screen. Red and Blue seemed to have just won their last match. He was glad he got that training in, because he wasn't sure if he could beat this team. Sup guys, how did it go? Naruto asked. We won. Sasuke responded quickly. We faced Silver and Ethan. They brought out a Cyndaquil and a Totodile, but Sasuke's Houndour and my Sentret handled it. Then they brought out a Mareep and a Wooper, but we handled them too, though it was a very narrow victory. Sakura filled Naruto in on the details. Who cares how narrow it was? A victory's a victory. Naruto, get ready, we're battling together next. Sasuke spoke. You've been watching this match intently, Sasuke-kun. Sakura spoke. I'm trying to figure out Red, Blue and Leaf's strategy. They're good. We'll need a large amount of planning, skill and luck to beat them. Sasuke responded. What have you found out? Naruto questioned. He needed the details as well. Nothing, they changed their plans and ways to attack every match. I know that Red owns a Charmander, Leaf owns a Bulbasaur and Blue owns a Squirtle. Those are the only Pokemon they've used this entire tournament. Leaf will be taking part next, so with your Starly and my Pokemon we have an advantage there, but I don't know what her other Pokemon are, and which of her teammates she is teaming up with. Would the last 2 teams enter the field please, thank you. The PA went off again. Break. This is the final match of the tournament. In the green corner we have Naruto and Sasuke and in the red corner we have Leaf and Red. This is a 2-on-2 doubles match, no substitutions. Begin! The referee shouted. Leaf and Red sent out their Bulbasaur and Charmander. Bulbasaur, the seed Pokemon. Bulbasaur can be seen napping in bright sunlight. There is a seed on its back. By soaking up the sun's rays, the seed grows progressively larger. Charmander, the lizard Pokemon. The flame on its tail shows the strength of its life force. If it is weak, the flame also burns weakly. As expected. Sasuke spoke calmly, putting away his Pokédex. Naruto used Starly to fight Bulbasaur. With Houndour's Flash Fire ability, Charmander shouldn't be a problem for it. Right. Naruto agreed. Go Starly! Houndour battle! Houndour start off with Howl. Starly, growl. Both Pokemon obeyed the orders, enhancing Houndour's own strength and lowering their foe's attack. Starly, attack Bulbasaur with wing attack. Houndour, leer. Houndour glared again, lowering the foe's defense. Starly charged and hit Bulbasaur, which responded with a Vine Whip, hitting Starly dead on. Charmander cast an Ember at Starly, but Houndour stood in front of the flames, absorbing them and making them ineffective. Houndour, use Bite. Houndour locked its jaw onto Charmander, making it flinch. Houndour, follow up with Smog. Houndour released a poisonous fog right in Charmander's face. Charmander became poisoned. It wasn't surprising. Starly, quick attack, then follow up with wing attack. Starly complied and struck Bulbasaur with both hits, effectively knocking it out. After one last bite from Houndour, Charmander succumbed to the poison and fainted. Red and Leaf returned their Pokemon before throwing new ones. It revealed a Geodude and a Ghastly. Naruto and Sasuke pulled out their Pokédexes again. Geodude, the rock Pokemon, it uses its arms to steadily climb steep mountain paths. It swings its fists around if angered. Ghastly, the gas Pokemon, its body is made of gas. Despite lacking substance, it can envelop an opponent of any size and cause suffocation. I'm willing to bet that Geodude knows a strong ground-type attack and they plan to use Ghastly's levitate ability to dodge it. Plus I bet it knows Rock Throw to take down Starly. Sasuke calculated. He was right, the Geodude activated a magnitude attack. It was super effective against Houndour and knocked it out. Ghastly used a hypnosis on Starly, putting it to sleep, followed by Geodude using Rock Throw promptly knocked Starly out as well. Sasuke and Naruto returned their Pokemon to their Pokeballs. Sasuke, I'll deal with Ghastly. Shinx learned a new move that can easily deal with it. I hope whatever you got spare can defeat Geodude. Naruto spoke. Sasuke smirked. I was about to say the same thing, he said as he pulled out a new Pokeball. He threw it into the air. It opened and revealed an angry-looking fish, with a red belly and blue top, a yellow star also on its stomach. Carvanha, the savage Pokemon, they swarm any foe that invades their territory. Their sharp fangs can tear out boat hulls. A Carvanha? Where did you get that? Naruto asked, putting his Pokédex away. The sea is to the west of this town, Sasuke answered. I went to the docks there and waited for a Pokemon to appear. A blue man helped me catch it. A blue man? Whatever, we have the advantage, so let's win this thing, Naruto exclaimed. Shinx used Bite on Ghastly. Carvanha, Water Gun on Geodude. Both Pokemon hit their targets, causing super effective hits. Ghastly and Geodude attempted to counter with their own attacks. However, Carvanha activated Scary Face, slowing them down dramatically. The battle continues with Shinx using Bite on Ghastly and Carvanha using Water Gun on Geodude, constantly making super effective hits. Red and Leaf had no openings for counterattacks and were forced to watch as their Pokemon were beaten easily by the combination of the other two trainers. Geodude and Ghastly are unable to battle, which means Naruto and Sasuke are the winners of the tournament. The referee concluded. Sasuke smirked and Naruto jumped in joy. After everything they went through, the tournament was still a great experience. Break. Congratulations to Naruto, Sakura and Sasuke for winning this year's rookie tournament. The referee spoke, gaining applause all the spectators. As customary for the winners, we give each of the team members a unique Pokemon. He finished as Nurse Joy appeared with 3 Pokeballs, sitting comfortably on a pillow. Naruto, Sakura and Sasuke picked one up each and threw the ball into the air. With a flash of light, each Pokeball revealed a small brown Pokemon, with large ears and a white furry collar. EV! They chimed happily. The team was currently on their way to Jublife. Their new EVs were a welcome member of their team. They now had 7 choices for a new type to add to their team. They began talking about what evolution they would have their EV evolve to. Sasuke knew what his was going to be. But Naruto and Sakura was as certain as he was. Congratulations to you, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura. An unknown voice resounded from nowhere. The rookie tournament is never easy to win. Sakura, Naruto and Sasuke searched around for the source of the voice. They all came to the conclusion that it came from the tree in front of their path. That was only a half-truth. A peculiar-looking man stepped out from behind the tree. His head covered with short, moss-green hair. His pupil-less yellow eyes were calm. The right side of his entire body was covered in pitch-black body paint, while the left side was covered with white body paint, white like a blank canvas. He wore a black cloak with a red interior. The collar was chin-high and closed. The cloak was adorned with red clouds. Underneath the cloak he seemed to wear another shirt, with a much larger green collar, the edges of which were spiked, as if trying to imitate a Venus flytrap going around his head. You! Sasuke spoke first. Why are you wearing the same cloak as that blue man? Flashback. Sasuke stood on the pier, overlooking the sea. He was waiting for a water-type Pokemon. He knew that the first gym had a rock-type specialism, so right now he was at a disadvantage. What you doing, kid? A voice from behind him said. Sasuke turned and saw a huge man, with blue skin and bluer hair. He had small round eyes that seemed slightly bloodshot. He wore a black cloak, with peculiar red clouds on it. Waiting for a water-type Pokemon to appear, Sasuke bluntly stated, returning to looking out to sea. Well, you're never going to find anything by just standing there, the man said, reaching into his pocket. He pulled out a small red cube. The cube smelled of meat and blood. Here, take this and drop it in the water. It dissolves instantly. It's a special food that attracts Carvanha. They look scary, but Carvanha are ferocious and strong. The man finished as he walked away. Flashback end. Oh, so I see you met Kisame. Well, Sasuke, this cloak is the mark of an Akatsuki member. I'm Zetsu, by the way, Zetsu stated. Sasuke's eyes went wide, This was the second Akatsuki member he met, 2 members of the same organization that his brother was in. Akatsuki? What's Akatsuki? Naruto asked. He had heard little snippets of information, but never enough to get a proper explanation. Akatsuki is a group of 10 Pokemon trainers. We are the best of the best. There is probably only one person who could possibly have a chance at defeating us. Once a trainer believes he is ready, he can begin to challenge Akatsuki for the honor of winning the 10 symbols from us. The symbol given is the same as the one we have on the ring on our finger. For instance, mine is the boar symbol. However, there are no exceptions. To obtain the symbol, you must defeat us single-handedly, no help, no ties, no cheating. So what happens if you get all 10 symbols? Naruto asked again. You are recognized as the strongest trainer ever. The 10 symbols together reveal the location of a legendary Pokemon. However, it is nearly impossible to win all 10 symbols. Many of the members have never been beaten. Zetsu smirked. Never been beaten. Naruto repeated the last part to himself softly. Enough! Sasuke shouted. Zetsu, you will tell me where Itachi is. I need to defeat him. Zetsu didn't seem fazed by Sasuke shouting at him. Zetsu chuckled softly, then began laughing loud. I have no idea where he is, Zetsu confessed. Akatsuki members have no set location. We are constantly wandering around the region. Half the challenge is finding each member. Besides, you have no chance of defeating Itachi anyway. What did you say? Sasuke spoke through his teeth with repressed rage. I could destroy you in a battle if I wanted to. Zetsu chuckled to himself again. Very well, he said calmly. Prove it. Break. Sasuke stood trembling with anger as he looked at his opponent, who was remarkably calm. It will be a one-on-one battle. Zetsu smirked. Sasuke reached for his Pokeball. He had no idea what Pokemon Zetsu would use, so he would just go with his strongest. Go, Houndour. Zetsu continued with his confident smirk. He reached for his own Pokeball. Victory Bell, go. Sasuke opened his Pokédex to scan the new Pokemon. Victory Bell, the flycatcher Pokemon. This horrifying plant Pokemon attracts prey with aromatic honey, then melts them in its mouth. Sasuke smirked. He had the advantage of type. Houndour, use Bite. Houndour charged towards the Victory Bell, intent on chomping down on it. Victory Bell, Sleep Powder. Zetsu spoke calmly. The powder released from Victory Bell, Houndour's speed began slowing. Its eyes were closing shut. It eventually collapsed midway towards its target. Sasuke panicked when Houndour hit the floor. Now use Ring Out. The vine on the back of Victory Bell extended and wrapped around Houndour, squeezing it tightly. Houndour's eyes opened wide with pain. Before closing again, it had fainted. Zetsu recalled his Victory Bell back at its Pokeball. Don't get ahead of yourself, Sasuke. You still have a long way to go. After all, Itachi is the 4th highest ranking member of Akatsuki. You will need a lot more power than what you have now. Zetsu had finished with them. He began to walk away. What rank are you? Sasuke asked, downhearted. His zealous nature from moments ago had disappeared. 3rd, was Zetsu's only reply. He continued on his way, leaving the children there. Break. The rest of the journey to Orberg was silent. No one knew how to break the new layer of ice the recently transpired events had made. As soon as they arrived in Orberg, Sasuke split from Naruto and Sakura, stating that he had his own business to attend to. Sakura followed him away, leaving Naruto alone. Naruto walked into the Pokemon Center. At this minute he was at a disadvantage against the first gym leader, Rourke. Shinx had little effect against rock types and Starly was weak against them. Eevee knew Dig, so that would be a big help. But he couldn't expect his newest Pokemon to do all the battling by itself. Wait. Naruto thought. The Pokemon Dad was gonna give me, he said it wasn't electric, so it might be a type that's strong against them. He thought as he ran to the video phones in the center. Hi Naruto. Phoning home already, are you? It's so sweet that you're worried I might be lonely. Kushina said on the screen. Yeah, good to know you're okay, Mom. But listen, Dad told me that he had a Pokemon that he wanted to give me. He said to either phone you or him if I ever needed it. Naruto replied. Oh, well, okay then. Kushina spoke. She seemed slightly more depressed. What Pokemon is it? Naruto asked. Your father said that it was no big deal, just a Turtwig. Kushina answered. Naruto raised an eyebrow in disbelief. Mom, I need that Turtwig. Oh, okay, let me just send it over. Kushina said as she left the screen. She appeared a few moments later, pressing some buttons. A ball appeared next to the screen Naruto was standing in front of. Naruto picked it up. Thanks, Mom. Now I can beat Rourke for sure. Naruto smiled wide. Glad to help. Kushina smiled in return, then hung up. Naruto looked at the Pokeball, scanning his Pokédex over it. Turtwig, the tiny leaf Pokemon, it undertakes photosynthesis with its body, making oxygen. The leaf on its head wilts if it is thirsty. I should get to work training this. Naruto thought as he darted out of the Pokemon Center. He headed towards the Orberg mine. They say it is filled with rock-type Pokemon, perfect for training grass-type Pokemon like Turtwig. Break. Turtwig, use Absorb. Naruto shouted. Turtwig obeyed and performed Absorb, taking the last of the energy out of the wild Geodude's body, making it faint. Alright. Naruto pinched the air. You've gotten so strong so fast, Turtwig. Rourke won't stand a chance. Turtwig. Turtwig nodded in agreement. Idiot, there you are. Naruto turned to see Sasuke walking towards him. Sakura made me look for you, she was getting worried. Oh, thanks for your concern, Sasuke. Naruto returned sarcastically. Whose Turtwig is that? Sasuke asked. It's mine, my dad gave it to me. Naruto replied quickly. Did you get the business you wanted to do done? Naruto asked. Sasuke smirked and reached at his pocket and produced his badge case. With a snap it opened, leaving Naruto in utter shock. You went and got your first badge. No fair. Naruto shouted. He felt cheated that Sasuke went secretly to get his gym badge. Yeah, with this I am one step closer to defeating Itachi, and then all of Akatsuki. Sasuke stated. After his battle with Zetsu, he vowed he would defeat all of the Akatsuki, proving he was the strongest trainer in the world. Why are you so obsessed with beating your brother? Naruto asked confused. Faulkner had never done anything so bad to him that all he wanted was to defeat him. I mean, what could he have possibly done to make you act this way? Sasuke seemed to tense. Perhaps Naruto was the only one who could possibly understand. Because, all my life, no one saw me as Sasuke. I was always known as Itachi's little brother, someone who could be compared to the Pokemon master of the world. I was always in his shadow. No one acknowledged my achievements without comparing them to Itachi's, even my parents did it. That's why I need to defeat him, to prove to everyone that I am not Itachi, I am my own person. Sasuke finished. Not once did he stop looking at the ground when he told Naruto his story. That itself he found weird. He never spoke about this to anyone. How did Naruto suddenly make him open up? Naruto stood a little confused, but he did understand. Back home he was always the champion's son. Someone who everyone expected to be just like his father. Then his brother became a trainer and began making a name for himself, pushing more pressure on Naruto, having to live up to two people's reputations. But he never got angry at it. He strived to prove that he and his dad and brother had different styles and that they could never be the same. That was deep, Sasuke. Naruto said, patting the black-haired boy on the shoulder. Sasuke just nodded. But it's interesting. Naruto began with a smile. I always thought that under that scowl there was a very angry boy. He confessed. But now I know that under that scowl there's a crying little girl desperate for attention. Naruto laughed hard. Sasuke's head shot up and he looked at Naruto darkly. Naruto smiled nervously. Well, time for me to get my gym badge. Naruto spoke as he began walking off at a fast pace. Naruto, get back here! Sasuke shouted angrily as he ran after Naruto, who also began sprinting away, desperate to get to the gym and to get away from Sasuke. Break. Safe. Naruto exclaimed as he ran through the doors of the Orberg gym. Sasuke wouldn't make a big scene in a gym. So are you my next challenger? A man with red-brown hair and an orange helmet on, from across the gym. At least you seem like a fun trainer, but I shall see if you're strong. I am Rourke the Rock. Oh hi, I am Naruto Namikaze, and yes, I will be battling you next. Naruto spoke, quite excited for his first match. Namikaze. Rourke repeated. Yeah, why? Naruto asked. He knew why, but he was worried that Rourke was just gonna give him a badge because he is the champion's son. It's nothing. Rourke returned. We shall have a 3-on-3 battle, no time limit, no substitutions. Okay. Naruto shouted. I'll start with Shinx. Shinx. Shinx called as it entered the field. Rourke chuckled slightly. Geodude, go. In a flash Geodude appeared. I'll have the first move. Rourke spoke. Use tackle. Geodude ran at Shinx and successfully hit it, sending Shinx backwards. Shinx, get up. Naruto shouted. Shinx responded and got up, releasing a growl as it did so. Suddenly, Shinx's body began glowing white. Eventually Shinx was engulfed in the light. When the light disappeared, a larger blue cat was in its place. Did Shinx just evolve? Naruto asked himself as he pulled out his Pokédex. Luxio, the spark Pokémon, strong electricity courses through the tips of its sharp claws. A light scratch causes fainting in foes. Luxio roared loud. Geodude seemed a little taken back. That must be the Intimidate ability, Naruto said. Luxio, use Bite. Luxio complied and bit down on Geodude hard. It seemed to do a lot of damage. Follow it with Leer. Luxio glared hard at Geodude. Now use Bite again. Geodude, dodge it and use Tackle. Rourke commanded. Geodude managed to move out the way of the bite and hit against Luxio. Quick Luxio, now that Geodude's close, use Bite. Naruto shouted. Luxio bit down on Geodude again, which was more than Geodude could bear, and fainted. Rourke returned Geodude. Don't get overconfident, he spoke, reaching for a new Pokeball. Go Onyx! A massive snake made out of rock appeared. Naruto had already fought a few Onyx while training Turtwig, but this Onyx seemed a lot stronger than any of them. Onyx, use Wrap! The Onyx wrapped itself around Luxio, crushing it slightly. Luxio, get out there! Naruto shouted in a pleading way. Luxio began biting and headbutting the Onyx's body, but it was having very little effect. Onyx, use Tackle! Rourke spoke. Onyx threw Luxio into the air that collided its head with it, sending Luxio flying across the gym. Luxio hit the wall with some force and fell to the ground. Finish it off with Rock Throw. Onyx hurled its tail at Luxio, which made a strong impact. Luxio was unable to move at all. Thanks for that, Luxio, you did real good. Naruto returned Luxio to its ball and smiled. It was time for his next Pokemon. Turtwig, let's beat this thing. Turtwig appeared ready for a fight. Onyx used Tackle. The large rock snake moved towards Turtwig, which stood confidently. Turtwig used Withdraw. Naruto commanded. Turtwig went back into its shell, raising its defense. Onyx struck Turtwig, yet it did little damage. Turtwig, now you use Tackle. Naruto shouted. Turtwig now speeding towards Onyx. Onyx dodge. Rourke said, the large Onyx managing to move out the way of Turtwig's attack. Onyx use Wrap. Onyx wrapped itself around Turtwig, which put up more resistance than Luxio. Turtwig now use Absorb. Turtwig began draining Onyx of its energy. It had a major effect as Onyx let go of Turtwig. Now Turtwig use Absorb again. Turtwig once again drained Onyx's energy. This time, however, it was the last of Onyx's energy, causing Onyx to fall over, knocked out. Rourke returned Onyx and thanked it for putting up a great fight. However, it was time to move to his last and strongest Pokemon. Go, Cranidos! Rourke yelled, as a great dinosaur-like creature with a blue skull with horns protruding around it. Naruto reached for his Pokédex. He had never even heard of a Cranidos. Cranidos, the headbutt Pokemon, a lifelong jungle dweller from 100 million years ago. It would snap obstructing trees with headbutts. So this is an extinct Pokemon. He must have restored it from a fossil. Naruto thought. It didn't matter. He would win this battle. He was one Pokemon up and had the advantage of type. Turtwig used Tackle. Turtwig charged at Cranidos. It collided with Cranidos hard, but Cranidos barely moved backwards. Turtwig follow up with Absorb. Turtwig began to sap the energy out of Cranidos. Don't get cocky, Naruto. Cranidos, jump up! Rourke shouted. Cranidos successfully jumped high into the air. Cranidos focus energy. Cranidos began glowing from the energy it was containing in its body. Now Cranidos move into a headbutt. Rourke shouted. Cranidos began diving headfirst towards the ground, more specifically Turtwig. Turtwig, quick, use Withdraw! Naruto yelled. Turtwig managed to retract back into its shell, but it didn't stop Cranidos' attack. It smashed directly on top of Turtwig. Even with Turtwig's heightened defense, it still caused a lot of damage. Cranidos pursuit. Cranidos followed up on the previous attack, moving at a high speed towards Turtwig. Turtwig dodge. Turtwig moved to the left, out of the attack's way. Cranidos used pursuit again. Cranidos quickly changed its direction of movement and struck Turtwig hard. Turtwig try another Absorb. Turtwig recovered quickly and began trying to suck the energy out of Cranidos again. Cranidos dodge it. Cranidos complied and successfully moved out of the attack's path. Cranidos finished with Headbutt. Cranidos charged at Turtwig one final time. Turtwig was caught in the middle of its own attack and struck by Cranidos' iron hard head. taking the last remaining energy out of Turtwig. Turtwig collapsed onto the floor, fainting. Naruto recalled Turtwig. The Pokemon with the advantage against the gym was defeated, despite Cornitos controlling most of the match. Turtwig dealt it a fair bit of damage. If Turtwig was at its full strength it might have won, but now all his hopes rested on his last Pokemon. Go Eevee! Naruto shouted. Inwardly he was a little worried. This would be Eevee's first battle. Eevee appeared, ready for the battle. Well Naruto, this has been a fun battle. No matter what happens you should do it again sometime. Rourke spoke kindly with a smile. You got it. Naruto replied with a smile of his own. Eevee, start with quick attack. Eevee sped fast at Cornitos, hitting it and knocking Cornitos off balance. Eevee now used Tail Whip. Eevee whacked Cornitos with its tail. The attack really did nothing, confusing Cornitos, lowering its guard. Eevee used another Tail Whip. Eevee once again tried to hit Cornitos with its tail again. Rourke, however, was having none of it. Cornitos, dodge it now. Cornitos pursuit. Cornitos attacked Eevee with some force. Eevee cried out as it was sent across the gym. Cornitos attack again with headbutt. Cornitos charged headfirst at Eevee again. Eevee dodge it. Eevee moved out of the attack's way. Now Eevee dig. Eevee obeyed and dug under the ground. Everything went silent as Rourke and Cornitos began searching for any signs of where Eevee was planning to rise from. Eevee suddenly burst out of the ground directly below Cornitos, striking it under the head, sending Cornitos up into the air. Cornitos fell back to the ground hard, creating a layer of debris lingering in the air. When the air cleared it revealed Cornitos unconscious. Cornitos can no longer fight, therefore the winner of the battle is Naruto. Yes. We did it, Eevee! Naruto yelled in glee and jumped into the air. Eevee! Eevee returned to its trainer, just as glad it won its first battle ever. Rourke had returned Cornitos to its Pokeball and began walking towards Naruto, who stopped jumping around and looked at him. That was a splendid match, Naruto. In recognition of your victory here at the Orberg Gym, I offer you the Coal Badge. Rourke spoke first, extending his hand out. A shiny brown-colored badge lay in the middle of his hand. Thanks, Rourke. Naruto smiled as he took the badge and placed it in his previously empty badge case. I suggest you take your Pokemon to the Pokemon Center. They all look exhausted. Rourke laughed. Yeah, I should. Well, I best be going. Naruto smiled as he headed for the door, completely forgetting the danger that remained outside. Break. So Sunny Shore's gym leader finally retired then, eh? A man with long spiky silver hair, which seemed to be defying gravity, spoke to himself as he listened to the TV newscaster. The man wore a dark blue mask that covered the bottom half of his face. He sat quite comfortably in the Pokemon Center. The door suddenly opened and the sound of a boy apologizing appeared. He turned to see that it was his target. The boy appeared with large bruises on his face. He was accompanied by another boy with black spiked hair and a severely angry look on his face. A girl with bubblegum pink hair approached them and began complaining about worrying where they were. The blonde boy began bragging about beating the first gym leader, and that once he healed his Pokemon they could leave for Floroma Town, for the girls' Pokemon contest. Kakashi, travel with Naruto and his friends for a while, will you? I'm worried about him. He easily brings unwanted attention to himself. But don't tell him I asked you to, that'll just get him mad. Kakashi watched the boy get his Pokemon healed and leave the Pokemon Center with his friends. He got up and followed them out. Break. So how do we get to Floroma? Sasuke asked. You need Rock Smash to get through the cave, north of Jublife. A voice appeared behind them. It came from a man wearing a mask. Only his left eye could be seen of his facial features, and that looked incredibly bored. His hair was silver, and was defying gravity. One of my Pokemon has Rock Smash. If you want, I can get you to Floroma, the man said. And who are you? Sasuke said, not liking this total stranger jumping into their conversation. Name's Kakashi, the man said with a small wave, and judging by the way his eye clenched shut, a smile. Well, Kakashi, my dad told me to never talk to people I don't know. I think it counts even more as I can't see almost all of your face, Naruto said accusingly. Then Minato taught you right, Naruto. Kakashi spoke in return, shocking Naruto. How do you know my name and who my dad is? Naruto asked, quite scared at this Kakashi's knowledge of him. I know someone who knows Minato. Apparently he speaks quite highly of you. Kakashi spoke with boredom in his voice. Dad speaks highly about me, Naruto thought to himself. Well, that aside, I still don't trust you. We don't know what you're capable of. Naruto spoke, pointing a finger at Kakashi. Then how about a battle? You can even team up with one of your little friends. Kakashi offered, still seemingly bored of the conversation. Fine then. Sasuke retaliated. Naruto, we'll beat this guy and get going to Floroma. Alright then. Naruto said. Go Carvania! Sasuke shouted. Luxio, go! Naruto yelled as well. Shinx evolved? Sakura said from behind them. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Kakashi coughed, gaining their attention. Ditto, Sudowoodo, go. A Sudowoodo and a Ditto, Sakura said, all three of them bringing out their Pokédexes. Ditto, the transformed Pokémon, it has the ability to reconstitute its entire cellular structure to transform into whatever it sees. Sudowoodo, the imitation Pokémon, to avoid being attacked, it does nothing but mimic a tree. It hates water and flees from rain. Let's go Naruto. Carvania used Bite on Ditto. Sasuke started the match, Carvania speeding towards Ditto. Luxio used Bite on Sudowoodo. Naruto shouted. Luxio also charged forwards. Ditto, transform into Luxio. Kakashi ordered. Ditto transformed into the exact copy of Luxio. Now use Spark on Carvania. Luxio complied and charged an electric attack, striking Carvania before it could reach it. The attack was super effective and dealt a great deal of damage on Carvania. Now Sudowoodo, use Earth Power on Luxio. Kakashi spoke, his voice never changing from its bored tone. The Earth Power attack struck and instantly knocked Luxio out with a super effective hit. To knock out Naruto's Luxio in one hit. Just how strong is this guy, Sasuke thought as he watched what had just transpired. Sudowoodo, now use Hammer Arm on Carvania. Kakashi commanded. Sudowoodo ran towards Carvania and swinging its rock-hard arm downwards on Carvania, knocked it out too with a super effective hit. Naruto and Sasuke lost. Kakashi just returned his Pokemon to their Pokeballs and walked up to the trio. With a sigh he pulled out a badge case, inside was a complete set of 8 gym badges. It left the three completely awestruck. See, now you know what I can do, so what do you say, you want my help or not? Kakashi spoke. You really have all 8 badges. Naruto gaped at the badge case. And defeated the 5 Kages. Kakashi spoke with a smile. Couldn't beat your dad though, he's insanely strong, but I also got this if it counts for anything. Kakashi said as he finished through his bag, revealing another, albeit slightly larger case. When he opened it, it revealed a small badge-like object. It was dark green with the symbol for North on it. What is it? Naruto asked the question all three of them were thinking. It's an Akatsuki symbol. Kakashi admitted nonchalantly. You defeated a member of Akatsuki. Which one was it? Sasuke shouted in shock. Not only had he lost to an Akatsuki member, he lost to someone who beat an Akatsuki member. If Zetsu's was the boar symbol, this one might be Itachi's. His name was Kakuzu. One of the hardest battles I ever fought. Kakashi admitted again. That's it, guy, you're hired. Naruto yelled ecstatically. You will officially become our sensei. Teach us everything there is about defeat the 5 Kages and the Akatsuki. Kakashi didn't mind Naruto ordering him around. In fact, he found it rather amusing. He was nothing like Minato-sensei. Very well, let's get to Floroma then. I also want to teach your Luxio a stronger electric technique if you don't mind. Kakashi spoke with his eye smile. So cool. Could be heard as Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura and their new teacher Kakashi began their trek towards back to Jub Life, and eventually to Floroma Town and Sakura's first contest. Getting through the cave took longer than I thought. Kakashi mused as he looked up to the orange sky. It's nearly nightfall. I think we set up camp for the night. It will take us a day to get to Floroma anyway, Kakashi suggested. The sound of relieved sighs filled Kakashi's ears. He turned and saw the children already sitting down. He didn't know why they were exhausted. Sudowoodo did all the work getting through the cave. I don't know why you're relaxing. Kakashi spoke. We still need food, water and firewood. It will be easier and faster if we split up and collect them. Fine. Sasuke groaned out. I'll go look for berries. Naruto, you and Kakashi get the firewood and Sakura, you get the water from the river. Sasuke began walking away, Sakura soon left as well. Come on Kakashi-sensei. Naruto barked out. You know Naruto. I should stay here and watch the campsite. So people don't steal our stuff. So why don't you go by yourself? Kakashi-eyed smiled. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I'll be back in a minute. Naruto yelled as he sped off in his own direction. Kakashi watched the blonde boy speed off into the woods. Before he chuckled and pulled out a book. Sitting down comfortably, he opened it to the page he was on. Break. Sasuke stared at the oran berry tree. These are edible. He spoke to himself as he began picking the berries. As he was picking the berries, he heard a rustling in the bushes next to him. Sasuke watched as another boy with purple hair and a stern look on his face appeared. He was wearing a blue and black jacket with gray pants. Sasuke stared at the boy, who stared back. What are you looking at? I'm looking at a no-talent rookie, the boy responded. What did you say? Sasuke spoke, trying to repress his rage. You heard me. You are a talentless rookie who should give up while you are behind, the boy replied, a smirk etched on his face. Just who the hell are you anyway? Sasuke, now shouting, asked. Paul. The boy Paul replied. Well, Paul, why are you here? Sasuke spoke, quite annoyed. Whatever Paul was here for, it wasn't just to insult him. I'm looking for a powerful Pokemon lurking in the area. The people near here say it has disastrous power, Paul replied. Sasuke's eyebrow rose. Disastrous power? He thought, intrigued. I'm going to catch it. A Pokemon with that power must be worthy, Paul continued. What do you mean worthy? Sasuke looked at Paul, annoyed and confused. Worthy for me to be its trainer. A Pokemon is only useful when it's strong, to give their trainer power, Paul answered sternly. Sasuke nodded, yet appeared slightly disgusted with this Paul's attitude towards Pokemon. I can agree. But you should have more respect for Pokemon. Because they are the trainer's power, Sasuke replied, taking the high ground. Paul closed his eyes and turned his head. Whatever. With that, Paul walked away. Sasuke watched him leave. I'm going to find that Pokemon myself, Sasuke thought as he put the last of the berries in his bag. Lifting it onto his bag, he took off in an opposite direction to Paul. Break. Sasuke looked around. It had gotten dark fast and foggy. He figured he must be some form of body of water. Sure enough, after a step through the bushes, he came in front of a secluded pond. However, he was not alone. There, drinking from the pond, was a large white-furred animal with a large blue horn on the right side of its head. It seemed to sense Sasuke's presence and turned around. Its eyes were blood-red and held a dangerous aura, but they were also strangely captivating. What is this? Sasuke whispered as he reached for his Pokédex, getting ready to scan this unknown Pokemon. Absol, the disaster Pokemon. Every time Absol appears before people, it is followed by a disaster such as an earthquake or a tidal wave. As a result, it came to be known as the disaster Pokemon. Absol, huh? The disaster Pokemon. Sasuke spoke. Was this what Paul was looking for? Sasuke questioned himself. The Pokemon did look powerful. Sasuke noted the black band tightly wrapped around the Pokemon's leg. Was it someone else's Pokemon? Or was it released? The Absol continued staring at Sasuke. Sasuke wanted the Pokemon. He reached for a Pokeball. Pokeball, go! Sasuke shouted as he threw the Pokeball at Absol. With a red flash, Absol was sucked into the Pokeball. Sasuke watched the Pokeball wobble once, before the Absol broke free. So it can be caught. Alright then, go Carvania! Sasuke shouted as his Pokemon appeared with a roar. Carvania, Ice Fang! Sasuke ordered. Carvania sped forward with elongated frozen fangs. Absol dodged with superior speed. With a flash, it appeared, thrusting its body weight in Carvania. It winced silently because of Carvania's rough skin ability. Was that its quick attack? Carvania used Bite! Sasuke shouted. Carvania once again sped forward with its jaws wide open. Absol performed the same maneuver and sped forwards. Both the Pokemon gripped onto each other, however Carvania got the upper hand with its rough skin ability. Carvania, water gun! Carvania obeyed and fired a blast of water at Absol, which hit directly. Good Carvania, now use Ice Fang! Carvania once again sped forward with icy teeth, however Absol once again jumped out the way. It suddenly stood still as if charging power. Without any warning, the Absol swung its head, sent a powerful gust of wind that sent Carvania backwards, knocking it out. Sasuke returned Carvania to its Pokeball stunned. That attack, was it Razor Wind? Sasuke mused. He shook the thought from his head. The battle wasn't over yet. He quickly reached for another Pokeball. Go Houndour! With a growl, Houndour appeared, ready to fight. Houndour, use Ember! Sasuke shouted. Houndour launched a fire from its mouth, hitting Absol. Use another Ember quick! Houndour again shot fire from its mouth, but this time Absol dodged and landed in its previous stance. Sasuke instantly recognized that it was planning to use Razor Wind again. When stood and began growling fiercely, looking behind Sasuke. Sasuke and Haonao turned around to see what it was growling at. There was nothing there. Sasuke turned to continue his battle, but the Absol had disappeared. Damn! Sasuke cursed quietly. There it is over there! Sasuke heard someone shout. From behind him a group of villagers appeared, armed with pitchforks and fire torches. The Absol boy, where did it go? The villager leading the group barked out. I don't know why. Sasuke replied, annoyed that these people probably cost him the chance to catch a strong Pokemon. That Pokemon's been terrorizing our village with its national disasters. We had finally caught it and bound it, but it escaped. It ran in this direction. The angry villager shouted back. It clicked to Sasuke that was the reason why it had the black band around its leg, so it escaped captivity. Don't worry, it will be out of your hair soon. I'm going to catch it. Sasuke spoke out. The villagers laughed hard. You catch it? The villager laughed harder. Sasuke grumbled under his breath. Whatever. Sasuke huffed as he walked off and back towards the campsite, still looking for any sign of the Absol. Neither Sasuke nor the villagers noticed the human-shaped figure melt back into the shadows a few meters behind them. Break. Sakura sat at the bank of a stream, filling each of the canteens with water. Just as she was putting the last filled canteen back into her bag, she heard a rustling from across the stream. A small blue Pokemon with 4 needle-thin legs and a yellow point at the top of its head darted outwards. A Surskit. Sakura spoke quietly, opening her Pokédex. Surskit, the pond skater Pokemon. From the tips of its feet, Surskit secretes an oil that enables it to walk on water as if it were skating. This Pokemon feeds on microscopic organisms in ponds and lakes. I'm gonna catch it, Sakura told herself as she pulled out a Pokeball. Go Sentret! Sakura called out as Sentret was released from its Pokeball. Sakura's shouting alerted the Surskit, which looked angry at Sakura's presence. Without a warning, it launched a string of bubbles from its mouth. That's its bubble attack. Sakura spoke quick. Sentret dodge and use quick attack. Sentret complied and moved out the attack's direction. It sped towards Surskit, but with superior speed, it moved out of Sentret's direction. Without a second thought, it sped off through the bushes. Wait! Sakura blurted out, recalling Sentret its Pokeball she took off after the Surskit. Break! Sakura was frantically following the Surskit. Keeping up with its fast, graceful moves was difficult. It stopped in front of a makeshift shelter made of leaves and wood. Inside was other bug Pokemon, Caterpie, Weedle, Wurmple, Burmy and Spinarak. They were all trembling and looked scared. The Surskit appeared to be trying to comfort each one of them. The Caterpie looked at Sakura and jumped in fear. The Surskit instantly jumped in between Sakura and the other bug Pokemon and glared hard at Sakura. I see, so you're protecting these other bug Pokemon. Sakura smiled softly and sadly at the Surskit. The Surskit responded to Sakura's smile by lowering its guard slightly and forming a suspicious look on its face. Its guard shot back up when a rustling to the left alerted that they were not alone. 3 angry-looking Haonao appeared with cruel grins on their faces. The bug Pokemon jumped up in fear and huddled together. Surskit stood strong and turned its attention towards them. The Haonao charged forwards at the weaker bug Pokemon, but Surskit was ready and launched a bubble attack at them. The Haonao continued pressing forwards, launching ember attacks and trying to bite down on Surskit. Sakura watched in shock at what was happening in front of her. Are they getting bullied by the Haonao? Sakura spoke, she didn't understand. Sasuke's Haonao acted just like him, but it never bullied any other Pokemon. Sakura decided that she wouldn't allow this to happen. Sentret! Eevee! Go and help Surskit! Sakura shouted. Eevee used Dig and Sentret used Quick Attack. Eevee burrowed its way underground and Sentret sped towards a Haonao, knocking it down. Surskit began its own attack against a different Haonao by speeding forwards with its own Quick Attack. It struck the Haonao, then quickly followed up with a Bubble Attack, a super effective hit against the Haonao. Eevee suddenly sprung up under the Haonao that Sentret hit earlier, another super effective hit against the other Haonao. The Haonao Surskit was battling launched an Ember attack at it. Surskit dodged effortlessly. Sentret, Eevee! Both of you use Quick Attack against the same Haonao. Both her Pokemon sped towards the previously hit Haonao and hit directly. The injuries were too much to bear, and the Haonao fainted. Surskit had just finished off the Haonao it was battling with one last bubble attack. Sakura looked at the Surskit and smiled. The Surskit responded with its own smile. Surskit was suddenly struck by the final Haonao from behind. Sakura had completely forgotten that it was there, it continued biting and hitting Surskit. Sakura looked at the other bug Pokemon, ashamed. Surskit went through so much to help them, yet when Surskit was in trouble, they wouldn't bother. Sakura was going to interfere in the cruel display when streams of string shots wrapped the Houndour up, followed by 5 small blurs tackling the Houndour. The other bug Pokemon finally found the courage to defend their friend. Sakura watched the bug Pokemon beat up the last Houndour. She turned her attention to Surskit, which looked badly injured. The other bug Pokemon, after beating up the Houndour, huddled around Surskit as well. Break. Sakura spent some time healing Surskit, and after a while it was back to its old self. Sakura decided that she couldn't catch this Surskit. It was needed too much. Well, Sakura spoke as she heaved her bag onto her back. Bye. She smiled at the Pokemon. The Pokemon cried out to her, stopping her momentarily. The bug Pokemon seemed to have a meeting, and when they finished, they began pushing Surskit towards Sakura, as if urging it to go with her. You want Surskit to come with me? Sakura asked. The Pokemon nodded, however Surskit shook its head. It turned towards the Pokemon and argued. But the Pokemon weren't taking no for an answer. If Sakura had to guess, they were finally beginning to stand up for themselves. Surskit sighed in defeat and turned towards Sakura. It extended its front leg out. Sakura smiled and knelt down to shake its leg. She pulled out a Pokeball, and with a flash the Surskit went into it. Sakura smiled and waved to the other Pokemon, who smiled back. She began her long walk back to camp. Break. Firewood, firewood. Naruto continuously repeated. He had been searching for it for a while, and he was beginning to get irritated. Grr! What the hell does firewood look like anyway? Naruto screamed out at the top of his lungs. He heard a chuckle from in front of him. A boy with a red and white hat, with a blue Pokeball which sat on his black hair, with 2 zigzag lines under his eyes, with a blue and white shirt on with black trousers and red shoes. A Pikachu was also sat on his shoulder. What the hell you laughing at, bub? Naruto shouted at him. Nothing. The boy smiled and continued snickering. Naruto grumbled under his breath. A Pikachu. He spoke out loud and opened his Pokédex. Pikachu, the mouse Pokemon, it stores electricity in the electric sacs on its cheeks. When it releases pent-up energy in a burst, the electric power is equal to a lightning bolt. So who are you? Naruto asked. Name's Ash Ketchum. And this is my partner Pikachu. And you are? The boy, Ash answered. I am Naruto Namikaze. Naruto smiled. Wait, this is your partner. Does that mean he was your starter Pokemon? Naruto asked again. Yep. Although he didn't like me at first. Ash grinned. The same as me. Naruto grinned in return. Pulling out Luxio's Pokeball, he sent it out. Luxio appeared with a smirk. I started with an electric type too. Cool. Ash looked at the Luxio. So what are you doing out here? Ash was now doing the questioning. Looking for firewood for our campsite. I'm traveling with some other people. Rookie guidelines, you know. Naruto answered. What are you doing here? He continued with a question of his own. Just traveling towards Jublife. I'm meeting an old friend there. I'm also taking a break from my journey in issue. Ash responded. Issue? What's an issue? Oh, I get it, you have issues. Naruto concluded. No, the issue region. Ash responded, irritated. It's far away from any of the other regions. I had to get a plane there. It's full of awesome Pokemon. Really? Naruto perked up. How about a battle before you leave then? Naruto requested. Alright then, I never deny a challenge. Ash responded with a confident smirk. Break. Naruto stood a distance away from Ash. A 4 versus 4 battle sound okay? He asked. Sounds good. Person who wins the most battles wins. Ash smiled. Alright then. Naruto smiled. Go Starly! Starly! Starly cried as it was released from its Pokeball. A Starly, huh? Reminds me of my own. Ash mused before he pulled out his own Pokeball. Go Hatuba! Hatuba! A bird Pokemon, larger than Starly, appeared. It had a few shades of gray and black for the coloring of its feathers. Pink legs with large black talons and a yellow beak. Oh! Naruto looked at the Pokemon impressed. He pulled out his Pokédex to scan the Pokemon. The Pokédex had a static screen. No available data. What? Naruto shouted. Whatever, we'll still beat it. Starly used quick attack. Starly flew towards the Hatuba. Hatobu dodge and use gust. Ash shouted. Hatobu moved out of the way and with a flap of its wings, sent a strong wind towards Starly, which lost its control of flight and was shot backwards. Starly got straight back up ready to fight. Yes, Starly, we'll beat him, Naruto called out. Get ready. Starly. Starly nodded. It looked at Hatobu. All of a sudden Starly began glowing. Its body grew larger. Staravia! Naruto newly evolved Pokemon called out. Naruto reached for his Pokédex. Staravia, the starling Pokemon, it lives in forests and fields. Squabbles over territory occur when flocks collide. Cool! Naruto looked astounded. We can't lose now, Staravia used quick attack. Staravia sped towards Hatobu, this time hitting it. Good, Staravia now use wing attack. Staravia altered its course and flew back at Hatobu, hitting it again with its wing. Come on Hatobu, use air cutter! Ash called out. Hatobu sped towards Staravia at a high speed, striking it. Now use gust. Hatobu once again sent a strong gust of wind at Staravia. Staravia, use quick attack to dodge. Naruto shouted. Staravia listened and managed to move out of the attack. Now use a quick attack on Hatobu. Staravia hit Hatobu with its speedy attack. Finish off with another wing attack. Staravia hit Hatobu with its wing again, dealing the final bit of damage. Hatobu fainted. Ash returned Hatobu to its Pokeball. You did well, have a long rest. Ash smiled softly at the Pokeball. Naruto returned Staravia to its Pokeball. You were awesome. Naruto grinned, reaching for a new Pokeball. Go Eevee! Eevee! Eevee spoke, ready for its battle. Ash pulled a new Pokeball out as well. Go Fudokimaru! A bipedal, otter-like Pokemon that is light blue in color appeared. It had small black ears, a pointed crest at the back of its head and long white whiskers forming tilted V shapes. Around its waist is a large, blue, fringed adornment, with seashells on the thighs. Naruto once again got out his Pokédex to scan the new Pokemon. No available data. Naruto grumbled under his breath. Eevee used quick attack. Eevee shot towards Fudokimaru. Fudokimaru dodge! Ash shouted. Fudokimaru evaded the attack. Now use water gun. A blast of water escaped the otter Pokemon's mouth and shot Eevee. Quick Fudokimaru, another water gun! Ash commanded. Fudokimaru once again sent a shot of water towards Eevee. Eevee dodged it and used Tail Whip. Eevee dodged and struck Fudokimaru with its furry tail, making its defense drop. Good Eevee, now use Dig. Eevee dug underground, preparing to spring up and attack Fudokimaru at any time. Fudokimaru, focus, find where it's gonna come up from! Ash shouted. Fudokimaru closed its eyes and began concentrating, feeling for any vibrations underground. Eevee shot out from the right side. Fudokimaru's shell blade. Fudokimaru pulled the two shells out, and a blade-like extension grew from them. With one quick slash of each shell against Eevee, it fell fainted. I win this round. Ash smiled as he returned Fudokimaru. Great job, Fudokimaru. Naruto growled as he returned Eevee. Quickly he brought out his next Pokeball. At the same time, Ash also threw a Pokeball. Turtwig, go! I choose you, Chauba. Naruto and Turtwig stared at their opponent. A pig-like Pokemon sporting orange, black, and yellow coloration. Fangs protruding from the lower jaw of its wide mouth and black, tapered ears on the top of its head. The black coloration from there extends down to its red, pig-like nose. The black coloration encompassing its shoulders, sides, and underbelly. Gold-colored, swirling features adorn its chest on the black pattern, and the pattern forms spiky shapes on the lower underbelly. The forelimbs of it have glove-like patterns, with gold bands at the wrists and black at the tips of the hands, which have 2 claws. Its legs are small, and its curled, wiry black tail is tipped with a puffy feature. Naruto once again took out his Pokédex. No available data. Naruto took the first move. Turtwig attack, use Razor Leaf. Naruto commanded. Chauba use Ember. Ash responded with his own attack. The ember burned through the leaves. Chauba follow up with Arm Thrust. Chauba charged towards Turtwig, thrusting its huge arms multiple times against Turtwig. Chauba used Ember again. Chauba launched another Ember at Turtwig. Turtwig dodge and use Absorb. Naruto pleaded. Turtwig dodged the fiery attack and began its Absorb attack. Chauba, before it can use Absorb, finish it off with Ember. Ash commanded. Quickly Chauba launched a final Ember. It struck Turtwig. A super effective hit. Turtwig could no longer continue and fainted. Naruto returned Turtwig to its ball. He couldn't win, but he could at least tie with Ash. Go Luxio! Naruto brought out his starter Pokemon. Luxio was ready to fight, it roared loudly. Ash returned Chowba back to its ball. Pikachu, you take on his last one, okay? Ash smiled to the yellow Pokemon on his shoulder. Pikachu. It smiled and jumped off Ash's shoulder. It landed ready to fight. Pikachu, Iron Tail. Ash took the first move this time. Pikachu's tail light up and Pikachu swung it around. It hit Luxio, but it appeared to not do much damage. Luxio used Spark. Naruto capitalized on Pikachu being close range. Sparks of electricity shot off Luxio. Now use Bite, Luxio. Luxio attempted to bite down hard on Pikachu. Pikachu dodge! Ash shouted. Pikachu quickly moved out of the bite attack. Time to use the new move Kakashi-sensei taught Luxio. Naruto thought excited, it would be his first time using it. Luxio used Thunderbolt. Naruto ordered. A large amount of electricity shot off Luxio aiming straight for Pikachu. Pikachu dodge! Ash called out. Pikachu moved out of the Thunderbolt's direction. Pikachu used Thunderbolt of your own. The same attack Luxio performed was now performed by Pikachu, however this time Pikachu hit its target. Pikachu Volt Tackle! Ash smirked. What? It knows Volt Tackle! Naruto shouted astonished. He had never seen a Volt Tackle before, but he knew that they were powerful. Pikachu was engulfed in electricity as it sped towards Luxio at an incredible speed. Naruto didn't even have the time to give the command for Luxio to dodge. Pikachu follow up with Iron Tail. Pikachu once again swung its iron hard tail at Luxio. Luxio dodged it. Luxio dodged by jumping upwards. Luxio now used Spark. Electricity shot off Luxio and struck Pikachu, not doing much damage. Pikachu Iron Tail. Pikachu quickly recovered from the Spark attack. It swung its steel hard tail at Luxio again. Luxio jumped backwards to avoid the attack. Pikachu Volt Tackle. Luxio Thunderbolt. Both the trainers shouted. Pikachu with its Volt Tackle armor took the Thunderbolt head-on. It caused continuous damage as Pikachu charged towards Luxio. With a large flash of light they collided. Naruto and Ash looked intently for any signs to see who came out on top. When the light died down it showed Luxio and Pikachu knocked out. Ash had won the battle. With a sigh Naruto returned Luxio back to its ball. You did great Luxio. Ash picked up his fainted Pikachu. That was a fun match Naruto, we should do it again sometime. Ash smiled widely at Naruto. You bet. Naruto grinned in return. But I'll definitely win next time. Ash laughed. In your dreams. Naruto laughed as well. Well, I'd best be going. Don't want to keep my friend waiting. Ash sighed out, he began walking off. See ya. Naruto waved him goodbye. But Naruto remembered why he was out here. He looked around at the destruction his battle with Ash caused. Large chunks of wood lay everywhere around him. I'll never find any firewood now. Naruto sighed out depressed. I know. An idea formed in Naruto's head. I'll take some of this wood and say it's firewood. I'm such a genius. Naruto finished as he began picking up the wood. Break. Kakashi sat comfortably reading his book. He looked up and saw one by one the children had returned. They all looked exhausted and like a mess. Did anything fun happen on your little journeys? Kakashi spoke with his patented eye smile. The three children groaned and entered their individual tents. Kakashi watched each of them enter their tents. Well, how rude. Kakashi noted. They're not behaving like a team at all. Kakashi finished as he carried on reading his book. I can see the gates of Floroma, you guys. Naruto shouted as he tried hurrying them to the top of the hill. They arrived and they all stared at Floroma town, the blooming flowers coloring the small town, the wind blowing the flowers, making the town look like a sea of color. The team stood agape at the beauty of the town. However, Sakura felt the presence that she had been feeling all day. She turned around. Does anyone else feel like we're being followed? Sasuke and Kakashi nodded. Naruto frowned. I can't feel a thing. Now let's go, we're almost there. He whined as he sped down the hill towards the town. I've been having that feeling since we left the campsite. Sasuke spoke as he looked towards the town. Who or what could be following us? Break. The group looked around at the stalls. It was some kind of marketplace. Looks like we arrived just in time for the Floroma Bazaar. Kakashi spoke lazily as he looked around. The Floroma who? Naruto squinted his eyes in confusion. Bazaar, it's like a market. You can buy lots of things here, clothes, Pokemon items, sometimes there are even Pokemon for sale. Kakashi replied in his lazy tone. What do you mean for sale? Sakura spoke, a little shock in her voice. It means that a man catches Pokemon, then brings them to the marketplaces and sells them. It sounds a lot like poaching, but it is actually quite different. The stall owners are breeders a lot of the time, so they keep very good care of the Pokemon. It is a popular way for trainers to receive rare Pokemon. Kakashi explained. Well, seeing as there are a lot of stalls here, why don't we split up and meet back at the Pokemon Center instead of walking around all day seeing each person's likes? Kakashi smiled before walking off. Sasuke soon left in his own direction as well. Break. Sasuke walked through the aisles of the markets. His new outfit made him look overdressed for the climatic Floroma weather. He wore full black. A long-sleeve zip-up jacket with a high collar, going up to his chin. Black baggy cargo pants and a black scarf wrapped around his neck. A tartan pattern could be seen on the scarf, but it did not differentiate by color. Sasuke's eyes were attracted by the collection of Pokeballs at a stall. Next to each ball was a picture of a Pokemon and a price. Totodile, Pikachu, Igglybuff, Cleffa. Sasuke scanned through the names of the Pokemon, but none were interesting him. His eyes finally located a Pokemon that sparked his interest. Cacnea, P600. Why is a Cacnea so cheap? Sasuke asked himself in his head. Hey! Sasuke spoke, grabbing the stall owner's attention. Cacnea are rare to the Sinnoh region. Why are you selling one for only P600? Sasuke asked. The owner sighed a sad sigh. That Cacnea is very weak. Because of that, no one gives it a chance. I'm afraid it won't last long if it has to continue to live in a Pokeball without a trainer. Sasuke looked at the Cacnea's Pokeball with a pang of sympathy. He remembered his conversation with Paul, who would release Pokemon who he didn't deem strong enough. Perhaps Sasuke should do the same for this Cacnea. No one was giving it a chance, so it was just wasting away inside the Pokeball. Wouldn't it be better if he released it? I'll take it. Sasuke spoke, pulling P600 out of his pocket. The stall owner thanked him gratuitously and quickly swiped the money. He handed Sasuke the Pokeball. Have a good day, sir. The stall owner smiled and waved Sasuke away. Sasuke walked off to the edge of the market, near the forest surrounding Floroma. He held Cacnea's Pokeball for a second. Go. With a flash, a small green Pokemon with long club-like arms appeared. Cacnea? It looked around confused. You're free to go. Sasuke looked down at the Cacnea. The Cacnea looked at the stall meters away from them, then at the Pokeball in Sasuke's hand, the Pokeball it had spent a large portion of time in, like a prison. Cacnea instantly knew that finally its time had come to shine, to prove its worth. All thanks to this boy, Cacnea knew that it could leave him. Ow! Sasuke cried when the Cacnea jumped and hugged him, latching on to his neck with the spikes of its arms. Come on, let go! I said you were free. Sasuke tried to free himself from the Pokemon's grip. The Pokemon dropped from Sasuke's neck and hit the button for its Pokeball on its way down, being returned to its Pokeball. Sasuke winced and looked at the Pokeball. The Pokemon obviously wanted to stay with him, but would it help him achieve his goal of defeating Akatsuki? Maybe with time, it would become strong. Alright, you can stay. Sasuke shrunk the ball and slipped it in his pocket. I should find the others at the Pokemon Center. Sasuke began walking to the red roof building in the distance. Break. Sakura was pleased with her new look. It was kind of the same as her original by color, but the clothes were different. She now wore a red shirt with short yellow sleeves, white cloth going round the edges of the clothes. The shirt extended downwards on the left side, only covering her left leg to above the knee. Her other leg showed her blue shorts. Her shoes were black and extended up to her knee. Her hands had black fingerless gloves on. Sakura walked through the market, browsing each of the stalls before moving on. However, she came across one stall that she just couldn't look at. Pokeballs on display, a picture of a Pokemon and a price. It was one of the Pokemon stalls Kakashi-sensei told her about. A space in the products indicated that someone had just bought a Pokemon. She crinkled her nose in disgust at the stall. How could anyone possibly want to get a Pokemon this way? She quickly turned her head and walked away from the stall, searching for an app stall for the Poketch. She heard that there was one here selling rare apps. Break. Why did you stay with me, Naruto? Didn't you want any new clothes? Kakashi asked the young blonde boy with him in a bored tone, his eyes never leaving his book as they weaved through the crowds. What's wrong with my clothes now? Naruto squinted his eyes. Nothing. Didn't you want to check out the Pokemon stall? Kakashi asked a different question, but still in a bored tone. Nah. Something about getting a Pokemon in that way doesn't feel right. Making a friend out of a Pokemon should be through hard work, not just buying them at a price. Naruto spoke as he looked forwards. There was nothing in the market that interested him. He had everything they need. Ah, there's Sasuke. Kakashi pointed out as Sasuke walked towards them. Nice get up, Sasuke. Naruto spoke, mimicking Kakashi's bored tone. Shut up, idiot. Sasuke growled in return, his head nodded upwards. Sakura's there. Sasuke spoke, using his head to point behind them. Naruto turned around and looked at Sakura's new outfit. Instantly his brain began malfunctioning. He smiled open-mouthed and goofy at her. I like your new look, Sakura-chan. Naruto nearly drooled out. Sakura looked at him disturbed. Thanks, Naruto, I guess. What do you think, Sasuke-kun? Sakura struck a little pose. A blush appeared on her face. HN. A tick appeared on Sakura's head. Was that his only reply for everything? As Naruto continued gawking at Sakura, he saw something behind her that finally interested him in the market. Lee! Naruto yelled. He began waving in the direction in front of them. A boy clad in green with a shiny black bowl cut was alerted and looked at them. A smile grew on his face as he ran towards them. Naruto-kun, Sakura-san, how are you? And you must be their third teammate, Sasuke-san. A pleasure to meet you. Lee bowed towards Sasuke. Sasuke looked at the weird kid bowing to him. His large black eyebrows were almost moving on their own. This was the guy who beat Naruto. He looks weak. What you doing here, Lee? Naruto asked the green-clad boy. Lee looked down sadly and sighed. I've been having trouble receiving my 5th gym badge. So I came here to train. Everyone looked at Lee, his 5th badge, already. Why come here? Surely it would be better to train around the 5th gym. Stronger trainers would be there than here. Sasuke bluntly spoke to Lee. It was not my choice coming here, it was my sensei's. The man I admire so much I modeled myself after him. The mightiest Pokemon trainer I have ever met. Lee clenched his fist, fires burned in his eyes. Kakashi's one visible eye widened, the emotion it showed was panic. Sasuke, Naruto and Sakura looked at him curiously. This was a side of their sensei they had never seen. Why, you couldn't possibly mean? Kakashi panicked. He recognized the green jumpsuit, black bowl cut and grin. YOSH. A man crashed down next to Lee. He was just an older version of Lee. Same green jumpsuit, same black shiny bowl haircut, same nice guy pose and the same huge eyebrows. My eternal rival is here. I knew today would be a good day to follow my youth. The man shouted ecstatically. You say something, guy? Kakashi's panic had been replaced with his usual bored body language, a facade to hide his feelings for sure. You and your hipness, Kakashi! The man, guy yelled. He quickly calmed down, to a level that Sakura still considered overly hyper. No matter, Kakashi. Guy grinned deviously. My trails of youthfulness have once again matched your natural hipness. Guy struck his nice guy pose and pulled a case similar to Kakashi's Akatsuki symbol case. With a snap it opened, revealing a yellow symbol, the symbol for south in the middle of it. This guy, Sasuke blurted in a tone unusual to the Uchiha, actually beat an Akatsuki member. He's totally idiotic, not to mention completely insane. Take that back about Guy-sensei. Lee shouted in his sensei's defense. Lee's right, Sasuke, you shouldn't underestimate Guy, he has achieved all the same awards I have. Kakashi confessed lazily. Wrong, Kakashi! Guy shouted, filled with energy again. I have achieved more than you. In our many battles you have only won 49 times, while I have won 50 times. Guy puffed out his chest as a sign of pride in this accomplishment. Kakashi's students looked at Guy with a newfound awe. This complete whack job had beaten their sensei in more battles than their sensei had beaten him. So which Akatsuki member was it? Sasuke asked, slightly fearful that this symbol belonged to Itachi. If it did, he could never call Itachi his brother again. His name was Guy stopped in his tracks. A sweat dropped from his brow after a few moments. I forgot. Everyone fell to the floor. I seriously hope Itachi didn't lose to this guy. Sasuke thought as he looked at the man scratching his head, trying to remember the name of the Akatsuki member he defeated. Hey Lee! Naruto called. You promised me a battle next time we meet. Get ready! Lee smiled and pulled out a pokeball. Very well, Naruto-kun. A hand darted in front of Naruto. The hand belonged to Sasuke, who glared at Lee angrily. I'm going to battle him this time. No way, Sasuke, he's mine! Naruto growled at his teammate. You've had your chance and you lost. Sasuke spoke bluntly. Naruto took a step back. I'll show him how a real trainer battles. Sasuke pulled out a pokeball. YOSH. Kakashi, the flames of hipness of your dark-haired student inspire me so. Kakashi, you and I shall team up with our students in the most legendary double battle the world will ever see. Which is the true way to victory, natural talent or hard work? Guy's eyes blazed over, his energy level soaring. You say something, Guy. Kakashi looked up from his book. Your accursed hipness, Kakashi. Guy whined. We will have a double battle, Sasuke-kun, just like my battle with Naruto. Lee smiled. Very well. Sasuke smirked and pulled out 2 pokeballs. Go Houndour, Cacnea! Cacnea. Sakura, Sasuke, Naruto pulled out their Pokédexes. Even Lee brought out a green Pokédex, matching his jumpsuit in color. Cacnea, the cactus Pokemon. Cacnea lives in arid locations such as deserts. It releases a strong aroma from its flower to attract prey. When prey comes near, this Pokemon shoots sharp thorns from its body to bring the victim down. Let's see what moves you know. Sasuke thought as he ran an extra scan on Cacnea. This Cacnea knows Leer, Poison, Sting, and Absorb. That's it, Sasuke thought. He didn't have time to think further as Lee brought out his own Pokemon. Go Poliwhirl, Hitmonchan, let your flames of youth burn, Lee shouted. A blue frog-like Pokemon with a hypnotic swirl for a stomach appeared, as well as another Pokemon that looked just like a boxer. Poliwhirl, the tadpole Pokemon, its body surface is always wet and slick with an oily fluid. Because of this greasy covering, it can easily slip and slide out of the clutches of any enemy in battle. Hitmonchan, the punching Pokemon. Hitmonchan is said to possess the spirit of a boxer who had been working towards a world championship. This Pokemon has an indomitable spirit, and will never give up in the face of adversity. I'll begin. Hitmonchan use Mach Punch on Houndour, Poliwhirl use Hypnosis on Cacnea. Houndour was instantly punched by Hitmonchan, a super effective hit. Cacnea was quickly put to sleep by the faster-moving Poliwhirl. Houndour used Bite on Hitmonchan. Cacnea, wake up! Sasuke shouted. Houndour followed through on its trainer's command, however Cacnea was in too deep a sleep to listen. Hitmonchan dodge and use Fire Punch on Cacnea. Poliwhirl used Bubble Beam on Houndour, Lee shouted. Hitmonchan swiftly moved out of Houndour's attack, leaving it open for a direct hit by the Bubble Beam. Hitmonchan charged towards the sleeping Cacnea. Its fist ignited, it connected with Cacnea, another super effective hit, causing Sasuke's new Cacnea to faint. Lee was about to call the match when Houndour struggled to get back up. Impressive, Sasuke, you've trained your Pokemon superbly. I can tell that your Cacnea is a new addition. You haven't had a chance to mold your spirits together yet. However, Poliwhirl finished with Mud Shot on Houndour. A bullet of mud launched from Houndour and struck directly. 3 super effective hits to Houndour was far too much, and he fainted. Sasuke returned his 2 Pokemon and growled in frustration. He had always believed that he was one of the stronger trainers, even if he was new, but for this Lee to beat him so easily, it angered him. You remind me of Neji-san, Sasuke-san. Lee spoke softly, recalling his Pokemon back to their Pokeballs. Who's Neji? Sasuke spat out. My teammate. When he became strong enough, he broke off from our team, followed by my other teammate Tenten. I was always the weakest. You are the strongest out of your team, just like Neji, who was also gifted with an uncanny natural aptitude towards training Pokemon. They just seemed to power up for him. You will become much stronger, Sasuke-san, and I hope you will allow me a rematch one day. Lee spoke sagely. Lee! Guy shouted tearfully. What a truly youthful speech! He hugged his student, a sunset over the crashing waves background appearing behind them. For such a youthful win in speech, you shall be rewarded with double the training. Thank you, Guy-sensei. Lee, now equally as tearful, hugged his sensei in return. Come, Lee. Guy began rushing off at inhuman speeds. Lee began following after him. He turned around, still running at the same speeds, and shouted, I am sorry, Naruto-kun, perhaps we can battle another time. He waved them goodbye and ran to catch up with his sensei. Naruto looked over to Sasuke, who hadn't moved an inch. He looked bitter. Apparently Sasuke was a sore loser. Break. Naruto looked over to his black-haired friend, who was still sulking over his loss to Lee. Naruto considered that he should be more caring for his friend's defeat, but it was always so funny when the Uchiha lost a battle. He would mope and sulk, then get angry and bail on them. I told you he was tough. Naruto spoke in a no-adult tone. Sasuke grumbled something in return. It clearly wasn't something friendly. Maybe next time Naruto began before he was tackled to the ground by a flash of brown and green. Within a second Naruto was in a headlock with a fist rubbing against his head. The assailant looked to be around 22 years old. She was female with brown hair and brown shorts with a green shirt. "What's up, Pipsqueak?" The assailant grinned as she continued beating up Naruto. "Gardenia! Get off me!" Naruto struggled to free himself from her grip. Eventually, after wriggling his way out, he was free. "What are you doing here anyway? Don't you have a gym to run?" Naruto rubbed the back of his head in pain. "Naruto!" Sakura diverted the attention to herself. "You know a gym leader?" "Yeah, she hangs out with my brother all the time," Naruto answered, confused as to why knowing a gym leader was a bad thing. "I'm here with the new Sunny Shore gym leader," Gardenia quickly interrupted, smiling. She couldn't wait for the kid's reaction. "There's a new gym leader!" Naruto shouted loudly, completely disbelieving. The Sunny Shore gym leader was so strong. "Yeah. The old man just retired, the new one's got some big shoes to fill." Gardenia scratched her chin, thinking about the new gym leader. "So who's the new gym leader?" Naruto asked Gardenia. She was about to answer when a new voice called out. "Gardenia!" Everyone turned and saw an older version of Naruto walking towards them. A blue jacket with a black shirt underneath and black pants. The man nodded to Kakashi as a way of greeting and Kakashi nodded in return. "Hello, Kakashi." "Faulkner," Kakashi replied. "Faulkner." Naruto smiled. "Yo Naruto, what's up?" Faulkner smiled in return. "Nothing much, Sakura's competing in a contest, you know. While I am kicking butt and getting awesome Pokemon." Naruto threw his arms behind his head. "Hey Faulkner, did you know that there is a new Sunny Shore gym leader?" Faulkner chuckled slightly. "I've heard about it." Faulkner looked at Gardenia, a smirk on her face. He sent a look telling her to speak no more on the matter. "How's Shinx, Naruto?" "It evolved into Luxio a while back. It's pretty awesome." Naruto grinned widely. "What about you? Have you caught any new Pokemon, Faulkner?" "Yeah, one." Faulkner drew out a Pokemon. "This is why I was in the area. Gardenia was helping me catch a Pokemon in the old mansion in Eterna Forest. It has the ability to change its for me, so it's pretty rare, but at the moment it is nothing compared to what Dad's caught." Faulkner looked at the Pokeball, a small smile on his face. "Hey Faulkner, can we go get some food now? I'm starving." Gardenia leaned over, clutching her stomach. Faulkner chuckled slightly. "Yeah, let's go to the Pokemon Center." "We can come too, Sakura has to sign up for the contest anyway." Naruto spoke, walking off with his brother and Gardenia. Kakashi, Sakura and Sasuke watched Naruto walk off. "Ditched us pretty quick, didn't he?" Sakura huffed as she followed after them. Break. The entire group entered the Pokemon Center. Sakura immediately sped towards Nurse Joy, intent in signing up for the contests. Gardenia soon sped away as well to the food court, leaving the group behind. Sakura soon returned squealing in delight. "Yes. You're looking at Sakura Haruno, official Pokemon coordinator." Sakura flashed the peace sign, wearing a grin comparable to Naruto's. Naruto cheered madly for her, while everyone else smirked. "I better go get some last-minute training in," Sakura thought aloud before darting out of the Pokemon Center before anyone had a chance to speak. "Anything you two want to do?" Kakashi asked Naruto and Sasuke lazily. "Training." Sasuke spoke bluntly, still bitter over his loss to Lee. "Training sounds like a good idea." Faulkner spoke, walking off. "Wait, where are you going?" Naruto spoke quickly. "I don't want to watch you train." Faulkner turned around to his younger brother. "But why?" Naruto asked sadly. "Because if I watch you train, I'll know some of your secrets and strategies, and when it's time for us to battle, I want to be completely surprised." Faulkner smiled the famous Namikaze smile. Naruto returned his own. "So what will you do now?" "I have a battle planned with Dad." Faulkner waved goodbye and left. Naruto watched his brother leave. A battle with Dad. He began wondering what his dad was doing now. Break. Sarutobi watched as his Ambipom fell to the floor, fainted. It stood no match against its opponent. Just like the rest of his Pokemon, Sarutobi's Pokemon weren't weak. He wasn't the Hokage, strongest of the 5 Kages for nothing, but every time he battled that spiky blonde-haired opponent he would always lose. Sarutobi looked at the champion of the world with pride. He remembered the day Minato came to pick up his Pokédex. How that boy changed over the years. Into the strongest trainer in the world. Sarutobi groaned and held his back. "I am getting too old for this Kage stuff." Maybe it's time I found a replacement. Then I could continue my research in peace. Did you have anyone in mind? Minato asked with a smile. I was hoping Jiraiya could. But I know that it isn't his style. Maybe Tsunade would be a better choice. Sarutobi sighed sorely. I also wish that you could become Hokage again. You made a fine Hokage. But you had to go defeat Tsukumo and become champion. But it fills me with pride that someone I knew from so long ago as just a boy has become this powerful. I have you and Jiraiya to thank for that. Minato grinned, the grin that had become a trademark for him. Sarutobi laughed. As expected from the champion of the world, Sarutobi spoke. Minato smiled at the professor. A flash of lightning appeared and a large Pokemon flew behind Minato. Its large yellow and black wings flapped around, suspending it in the air. Its feathers were jagged and sharp. Its long beak stretched out like a needle. It gave one loud cry that would terrify even the evilest men. Zapdos. Flying Thunder God Minato. Cacnea use Poison Sting now, Sasuke ordered. Cacnea followed its trainer's orders and shot poisonous needles from its mouth. They hit directly, knocking the Pachirisu they were battling out. Sasuke looked down at his Cacnea and smiled. Why no one bought it before him he'll never know. Within a few battles, its strength and experience had grown greatly. Cacnea returned its trainer's smile. Sasuke's smile turned to a frown. He remembered Naruto. How 2 of his Pokemon had already evolved, and none of his had. It was eating away at him inside. Naruto was always training longer than him, and with the newly evolved Pokemon, his party was getting stronger. And he was beginning to overtake him. Sasuke growled in anger. How could the dead last at the academy possibly be overtaking him? The top of the class, Naruto, who didn't even know what he was doing half the time, was beating him in every aspect. Grr! Sasuke's anger vented slightly. He grabbed his 3 other Pokeballs and threw them into the air. Houndour, Eevee and Carvania all appeared. They looked at the evening sky and wondered what was going on. They looked at their trainer, who was fuming. Get ready for the hardest training you've ever experienced yet, Sasuke told his Pokemon. They jumped back a bit, but regained their composure, ready for the training. All his Pokemon cried in return, totally prepared for the training. Sasuke smirked at his Pokemon. He would catch up to Naruto, overtake him, show him who truly was the best. The feeling of being watched returned to Sasuke, the same feeling he had experienced since he left the campsite with Kakashi, Sakura and Naruto. His Pokemon seemed to feel it as well as they all looked to the same place behind him. Quickly Sasuke turned around, just in time to glimpse the bushes rustling. Gotcha! Sasuke thought victoriously. Slowly moving towards the bushes, with his Pokemon close behind him, Sasuke went to investigate who could have been possible following him this entire time. Come out! Sasuke commanded as he approached the bush, which began rustling again. Sasuke took a step back, before his stalker jumped over his head and landed a distance away from him. It was an Absol. Not only that, it was the Absol he battled a few days ago. He could tell by the black bind wrapped around its leg. Absol. Its deep calm cry startled Sasuke's ears. It glared at him for a few moments. So it's you that's been following us. Did I make a good impression? Sasuke smirked as he glared back at the Absol. Well, I'm stronger now, and now I will capture you. The Absol glare stopped as it turned and ran away. Sasuke turned to his Pokemon. Let's go. I want to catch that Absol. This time we'll defeat it. Carvania and Houndour both nodded, eager for a rematch with the Absol. Sasuke and his Pokemon began chasing after the Absol. One thought ran through Sasuke's mind. I will catch it. Break. Sakura looked through the curtains backstage of the contest stage. She found Kakashi and Naruto in the crowd, an empty seat still next to them. Where are you, Sasuke? Sakura asked herself. She was worried enough at entering in her first contest. She was hoping that Sasuke's ever-confident smirk would project some confidence into her. It's probably just not that interesting enough for him. Sakura spoke to herself, disheartened. Hey forehead! Sakura turned around. Ino stood with a cocky smirk, next to Choji, who as always was eating a pack of chips. Glad to see you're here. Now you can look at the face of the winner. Ino laughed hard, completely unaware of Sakura's sadness. Fortunately Choji did recognize Sakura's sadness. Ino, that's not very nice. He spoke in a kind voice. Sakura, don't worry, you'll probably win. He tried to lift the pink-haired girl's spirits, but to no avail. Before Ino could add her 2 cents, the screen came on. Hello and welcome to the Floroma Town Contest. I am Tsunami, the host of the contests. The roar of the crowd was loud. It didn't help boost Sakura's confidence. Is everyone ready for the contest? First we have the appeal round. Kicking things off is a boy from Twin Leaf Town, Choji Akimichi. Tsunami spoke into her microphone. The crowd cheered loudly. Well, that's me. Choji smiled and put down his bag of chips and moved towards the stage. Break. Look, there's Choji. Naruto smiled as the boy walked onto the stage. With a toss of his pokeball, a Butterfree fluttered onto the stage. Naruto looked at the empty seat next to him. Where the hell is Sasuke? He spoke angrily. A team was supposed to support each other. Sakura was always there for his battles. Why couldn't he show up for Sakura's biggest event so far? Well, Sasuke didn't come back to the hotel last night, so he might still be training, or he's in trouble, but I doubt that. Kakashi replied to Naruto's question. Well, either way, Sasuke's an asshole for not showing up. Naruto quickly returned. Who you calling an asshole? A voice spoke to the left of them. The voice belonged to Sasuke, who quite frankly looked terrible. He was covered in dirt and looked extremely tired. Sasuke, so you came after all? Kakashi smiled at the black-haired boy. Sasuke nodded. Of course I can. Sakura's been there to help me. I feel indebted to her. Sasuke replied as he sat down next to a snickering Naruto. More like you love her. Naruto mocked, making kissing faces. His response was a hard punch to the temple. Idiot! Sasuke growled out, before turning to the stage. Where were you anyway, Sasuke? Kakashi asked, turning to the stage as well. I was training when Pokemon I want appeared. I was chasing after it, but it got away from me again. Sasuke replied. Truthfully, Absol did appear and he was chasing it, but he had it cornered. But when he checked the time, he realized he was already late for Sakura's contest, so he gave up battling it and let it escape. He wondered why he did it. Absol was strong. Was Sakura really that important to him? Please welcome another coordinator from Twin Leaf Town, Sakura Haruno. Tsunami cheered into her microphone. The crowd cheered loudly in return. Break. Sakura heard her name being called out and froze. Was she really ready for this? Would she just go on stage and embarrass herself completely? Her body wasn't taking no for answer. She had already begun walking onto the stage. As she entered the stage, the crowd roared. She looked towards Kakashi and Naruto, hoping for some kind of support. And there he was, sat next to Naruto, the boy she had been crushing on since before she could remember. The exact smirk she envisioned on his face present, giving her full support of what she was doing. She smiled in return. She felt confident. She took to the center of the stage. Spinning around, she threw her pokeball high into the air. Surskit, time to shine, she called out. Her Surskit appeared and spun around rapidly as it fell to the floor, very much like a landing helicopter. Surskit landed gracefully in front of the crowd. Wows escaped the crowd's mouths. Sakura knew that she had the audience's complete attention. Surskit, use bubble to make huge bubbles, Sakura commanded. Surskit complied and blew many large bubbles, bubbles that were much bigger than Sakura. Now Surskit, use string shot into the air to wrap around the bubbles. An odd command, but one that Surskit seemed able to accomplish, gently layering all the bubbles in sticky string. Pop M! Was Sakura's last command. Surskit jumped high, and with its needle-like legs, began popping the bubbles. When the bubbles burst, the string exploded everywhere, creating a fireworks/confetti atmosphere on stage. The crowd gasped in awe as they watched the glistening display on stage. Surskit landed back onto the stage and basked in its creation, dancing around the stage in a spinning motion on one of its legs. Simply beautiful. Nurse Joy, the first judge, spoke. Amazing. The second judge, Anko Mitarashi, commented. I must agree. Shizen, the apprentice of the Sannin Tsunade and the third judge of the Pokemon contests in Sinnoh, added. Sakura returned Surskit to its ball and skipped off stage. What a dazzling performance. Now give it up for another Twin Leaf grown coordinator, Ino Yamanaka, Tsunami called. Sakura stopped when Ino began walking out. Good luck, Ino Pig, Sakura smirked. You're the only one who needs luck around here, forehead, Ino quickly replied before entering onto the stage. Break. Sakura sat impatiently awaiting the results. This had to be the most nerve-wracking experience in her life. She looked up at the screen. The last person was giving their performance. After them, she would find out if she was through to the next round. Sakura! A voice belonging to Naruto called. Sure enough, there they were, Naruto waving to her. They approached her, and Naruto's grin widened. Sakura, you were great. Very impressive, Sakura. Kakashi smiled at her. She blushed at both of their compliments and turned to Sasuke, the blush never leaving her face. Naruto and Kakashi followed suit and stared at Sasuke. Sasuke looked around at all three of them before sighing. The thing you did with the bubbles was interesting. Sasuke spoke nonchalantly, trying to keep his cool. Sakura blushed madly at his response. She knew that that was the best she was going to get from Sasuke, but she didn't mind, it was still something after all. Sakura quickly hugged him before he could react. Thanks for coming. She spoke softly. Sasuke was taken aback by her actions, he wasn't quite sure what to do. Luckily for him, Sakura let go of him. Sakura turned to see Kakashi with a knowing look on his face and a broken heart. Naruto, hands extended and mouth ageki. Realizing what she just did, she shifted awkwardly. Thanks for coming too, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto. She tried to cover her feeling up. Kakashi waved his hand backwards and forwards. It's alright, Sakura, of course we were gonna come. Sakura could hear that he was trying to suppress a snicker. The announcements came. Sakura, losing all her previous confidence she had moments ago. Her entire future as a coordinator rested on this one announcement. Because there weren't as many contestants this time around, 4 people will be going through, instead of the usual 8. Tsunami spoke into her microphone. Sakura's face fell. That halves my chances of getting through, she thought worriedly. The picture board came onto the screen. The contestants continuing on are Ino Yamanaka. The sound of Aino's cheering in the background could be heard. Sorry. A girl with long brown hair jumped enthusiastically in the air. Choji Akimichi. Choji's sigh of relief could be heard. And Sakura began sweating bullets, only one place left. Sakura Haruno. Sakura screeched in joy and jumped into the air, no longer listening as they called out the matches. Sakura! Naruto shouted. He finally recaptured her from her dreaming. You're battling against Ino, he informed her. Sakura looked over at Ino, who had a cocky smirk plastered on her face. You'll wipe the floor with her, Naruto told her. Sakura nodded, completely ready for this battle. I know, she replied confidently. Break. Sakura stood at one end of the battlefield, Ino at the other, both glaring at each other. There is a 5-minute time limit. Let the contest commence. Tsunami began the match. Both girls reached for their Pokeballs, set with the Pokemon they were going to choose. Cherubi, go! Marill, go! Both girls released their Pokemon. The Pokemon they chose symbolized something more than the contest. They both picked their starter Pokemon, symbolizing when their rivalry truly began from more than just to win Sasuke's attention. Marill kicked things off with a water gun. Ino quickly took the first move, a jet of water shot out of Marill's body towards Cherubi. Cherubi dodge. Sakura called. Cherubi successfully moved out of harm's way. Cherubi used Leech Seed. Sakura used Cherubi's trademark move, seeds spurred out of Cherubi, one connecting with Marill, vines extended from the seed and wrapped around Marill, slowly drain health from it. Break. I see. Kakashi spoke quietly. Using Leech Seed causes continuous damage against an opponent, and in a contest also cause the opponent's points to deplete over time as well. Good idea, Sakura. Break. Cherubi follow up with Tackle. Cherubi attacked the tangled Marill, with a strong shoulder thrust. Ino growled and looked at the scoreboard. Her points were slowly depleting. Marill used Rollout. Ino commanded. Marill rolled into a tight ball and sped towards Cherubi, sending it high into the air. Ino watched Sakura's points drop and grinned. Marill Rollout again. Once again Marill knocked Cherubi high into the air, this time at a stronger and faster rate. Marill Rollout. Marill Rollout. Ino continuously commanded, each attack getting stronger than the last. Ino turned to the scoreboard to see how far she was ahead of Sakura now. To her utter shock, her points had depleted as well. Break. A simple mistake. Contests aren't about getting strong moves in. Ino was just using the same move over and over, not very glamorous or appealing. Kakashi explained. Oh, I thought the second round was just like battles. Naruto exclaimed loudly. No, contest battles are much more complicated, Kakashi told him. Sakura was doing well, he was proud. But sensei, you just said that Leech Seed caused continuous damage over time, so why doesn't Sakura lose points? Naruto asked, puzzled. Because Sakura just used Leech Seed the one time, Ino uses Rollout again and again, get it? Kinda. Naruto turned back to the match. Break. Mario moved in for one last rollout. Just then the leech seed activated again. It had taken a considerable amount of health from Mario, stopping it in its tracks. Cherubi completely recovered from the onslaught of rollout, and was now in mid-air. Cherubi swung the leaves on its head. Leaves that changed in color were released. They shot towards Mario at a high speed, hitting it directly. Was that magical leaf? Sakura thought aloud. Did Cherubi learn it now? The magical leaf was too much for Mario. With the added damage from leech seed, it fainted. The buzzer went, indicating that the match was over. Sakura had won. Sakura sighed in relief. She was in the finals. She quickly ran over to Cherubi and hugged it, thanking it for battling so well. Ino approached her, holding her fainted Mario in her arms. Don't get used to this forehead. I'll beat you next time. Ino quickly shouted before Sakura had a chance to say anything. It was a great battle, Ino. Sakura replied softly, not wanting to shout anymore. Yeah, it was. Ino smiled softly. She extended her hand forwards, signaling Sakura to take it. Sakura stretched her hand out as well, grasping her rival's in her own. The crowd cheered loudly at the gesture of sportsmanship. Could the contests leave the stage so the next battle may commence, please? Tsunami called out. Both girls left the stage. Sari and Choji both entered, eager for battle. Break. Sakura watched as Choji won his battle. He was good. Really good. Sakura didn't know if she could beat him or not. Sakura sat alone during the interval to give Choji a chance to rest his Pokemon. Kakashi, Sasuke and Naruto weren't allowed backstage at this time. She sat alone, trying to figure out strategies to defeat Choji. Would the finalists please enter the stage? The screen called. Sakura stood up and began walking. Walking towards her battle, walking towards her first ribbon. She entered the stage. Choji stood waiting. The rules are the same as before. The battle is over when one Pokemon faints or the time limit expires. Let the final battle of the Floroma contest begin. Tsunami shouted. Choji and Sakura grabbed their Pokeballs. Go Cherubi! Sakura called. Cherubi appeared ready for the final battle. Go Slugma! Choji called. A slug made out of lava appeared. Sakura scanned it with her Pokédex. Slugma, the lava Pokemon, it is a species of Pokemon that lives in volcanic areas. If its body cools, its skin hardens and immobilizes it. To avoid that, it sleeps near magma. He has the type advantage, but Slugma are slow. With Cherubi's speed and with Magical Leaf to attack from afar, I should have this battle in the bag. Sakura thought out a seemingly flawless plan. Cherubi started with Magical Leaf. Sakura started the match. The colorful leaves shot of Cherubi towards Slugma, but didn't deal a great amount of damage. Choji did nothing in return, as if waiting for something. Cherubi, use growth twice to boost your special attack. Cherubi obeyed and powered up its special attack. Now use Magical Leaf again. The leaves once again shot from Cherubi and hit Slugma, dealing more damage this time. Sakura looked towards the screen. Choji had lost a fair amount of points. Slugma use Yawn. Choji spoke calmly. Drowsy bubbles came from Slugma and engulfed the field, one hitting Cherubi. Oh no! I've got to end this quick. Sakura panicked. Cherubi, Magical Leaf again. The cost of her points were worth it as this time it was a critical hit. Yes, one more hit and Slugma should go down. Sakura smiled, completely unprepared for Choji's next command. Slugma, recover. Light engulfed Slugma. When it dissipated, it revealed Slugma, fully free from any damage. Cherubi yawned loudly, sleep now taking effect. Cherubi fell to the floor, snoring softly. Sakura watched as her point bar depleted completely. If a Pokemon fell asleep, it could no longer dazzle the audience and judges, therefore was an instant lose. The buzzer went off. The match was over. Choji won. He returned Slugma to its ball and thanked it for battling superbly. Sakura returned the sleeping Cherubi back to its ball. She stuck around to see Choji get awarded the Floroma ribbon. It was only fair she did. Choji would probably have done the same if she won. She turned to look at Kakashi, Sasuke and Naruto. They didn't look disappointed, they looked upset. However, there is pride on their faces as well. She smiled at them. She knew that at least she could reach the finals. Next time she would win. Break. Kakashi, Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura stood facing Ino, Choji and Shikamaru. They had asked where Shikamaru had been for the contest. Shikamaru dully exclaimed that he had overslept for 6 hours, resulting in a vicious beating courtesy of Ino. Well, Choji, how does it feel to be the first person in our academy class to win a contest? Naruto grinned widely at the contest winner. What are you talking about? Shikamaru rubbed his head, where Ino had punched him particularly hard. Hinata already won 1 ages before Choji did. Shikamaru spoke nonchalantly. Sakura and Naruto went wide-eyed. Wow! Hinata's good. Naruto exclaimed. Hinata was always so timid, he kinda guessed that she would be the furthest behind. Yeah, so are Shino and Kiba. They both won 2 badges already as well. Shikamaru continued his confession streak. This time it was Sasuke and Naruto whose eyes went wide. How do you know this? Sasuke asked, anger beginning to form in his voice. We met up with them a few days ago. Naturally, Kiba showed off his 2 badges, then Shino and Hinata had to show their badges and ribbon when Kiba gloated about having the best team. Ino chattered away. Wait a minute! Naruto silenced everyone. Shikamaru, how many badges do you have? He asked, the sleepy trainer, frightened about what his answer will be. Shikamaru sighed. This is so troublesome. You're not gonna like what you see, he exclaimed as he reached for his badge case. With a snap it opened, revealing 2 shiny badges. If possible, Sasuke and Naruto's eyes widened further. Naruto began, you mean that? That's right, at this minute in time, your team is furthest behind. It's troublesome, I know. I'd really like to take it as easy as you guys have been, but with Ino here I can't catch a break. Shikamaru sighed in envy. Sasuke and Naruto looked at each other. Both were just as shocked as the other at Shikamaru's words. We've got no more time to waste. Both yelled simultaneously. Kakashi, Sakura, we've got to get to Eterna City now. Both charged past Ino, Shikamaru and Choji and ran towards the Valley Windworks, before making a sharp left and darted up Route 205. Sakura watched the 2 boys and sighed. Sorry, got to go. Congratulations on winning again, Choji. She yelled over her shoulder as she ran towards Route 205 herself. Kakashi smiled at the 3 young trainers before slowly walking after his 3 students. Pilip! Kakashi stopped in his tracks and looked upwards. A blue and white Pokemon with a large bill was flying over him. He extended his arm and the Pokemon landed on it. In its mouth was a letter, nicely sealed up in an envelope. A Pilipper mailman. Kakashi wondered as he plucked the letter from the Pokemon's mouth. It quickly flew off his arm and back into the sky. Kakashi ripped open the envelope and opened the letter. Lazily he read the contents of the letter, muttering it to himself. Recommendation by the current champion of the world. That sentence struck out at Kakashi the most. But I don't really want to do it, he confided in himself. But it looks as if I don't have a choice. Kakashi folded the letter up and placed it in his pocket. He slowly began walking to catch up with Sasuke and Naruto. Probably have to tell them the news as well, he spoke to himself as he continued up Route 205. Naruto and Sasuke continued running at top speed, neck and neck. Neither looked back to see how far Sakura and Kakashi were behind. They both stopped at the opening into Eterna Forest. Inside the forest blackened instantly. Both were panting hard. They turned around, to just barely see Sakura's running form catching up to them. Kakashi, on the other hand, was nowhere to be seen. I can't believe that we're last. Naruto panted out, yet anger was still evident in his voice. Totally, what have we been doing this entire time? Sasuke replied with angry pants of his own. Sakura soon appeared, panting harder than both of Naruto and Sasuke. Guys. Slow down. Sakura gasped for air. She had never ran so much in her life. Kakashi soon appeared, dropping from the sky, not sweating, not panting. He looked totally fine. I took a shortcut. Kakashi bluntly pointed behind him, back towards Floroma town. Anyways, there's something I need to tell you. No time, Kakashi-sensei. We have to get through the forest to Eterna City. Didn't you hear? We're behind everyone else. Naruto gasped loudly, trying to get his point across clearly. Kakashi sighed. Very well, but Eterna Forest is a maze. It will take a while to get through it. Unless we have a guide who can escort us through it quickly. Naruto groaned loudly and weakly, before turning to the small cottage behind him, the word rest stop written on a sign next to it. There's bound to be a guide in there. He pointed to the cottage. If you are looking for a guide, then perhaps I can be of assistance. Why? Because I know that forest like the back of my hand. A voice spoke from the shadows. The voice was deep and dull. Wait a minute, that type of voice and that weird way of talking. Naruto remembered who was there. Shino! Naruto pointed to the shadows. Sure enough, the brown-haired boy moved towards them, as stoic and quiet as ever. I will lead you through. Why am I doing this? Because I need to enter Eterna Forest anyway. Shino explained, completely losing Naruto's attention. Hey Shino, where are Kiba and Hinata? You're not that good that you can split up yet? Naruto asked, looking around. The only reply he received was Shino coughing. At that moment both Hinata and Kiba walked out of the cottage and looked around. Well. If it isn't Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura. Kiba grinned as he moved towards them. How about we finally have that battle? Hinata against Sakura, Shino against Sasuke, and myself against the idiot. Kiba laughed as he organized the battle. There's no time now. Sasuke quickly responded. He turned to Shino. Can you lead us through? Shino nodded in return. Hinata and Kiba shall accompany us. They will be going towards Heart Home City soon. Why? Because there is a gym and another contest there. So we're finally going now. Well, I just hope you find it this time. I'm getting sick of wasting time around this forest. Kiba complained to his quiet teammate. He received no response from Shino, who had already begun walking into the forest. Sasuke, Naruto, Sakura and the guy they were with followed soon after, leaving him with Hinata. Let's go, Hinata. Kiba sighed as he walked on. Remember to keep up. I know Naruto's with us, but it's just for a little while, so no fainting. Kiba roared with laughter as he walked forward. Kiba-kun. A very embarrassed Hinata stuttered out. She never liked it when Kiba made fun of her feelings. She noticed that Kiba didn't stop walking and quickly caught up to him. Today was going to be a day when she was around Naruto. She wasn't prepared for this yet. Break. As they walked through the forest, Sakura couldn't help but stare at the beauty of the forest. The leaves fell off and floated to the ground slowly. Small Pokemon played on the many branches. A perfect habitat. Kakashi looked up towards Shino's Yanma, its head buzzing in all directions as it flew above them. So Shino, Kiba said you were looking for something? Kakashi asked, the younger boy. Shino nodded in return. Yes, a scyther. A scyther? Kakashi sounded genuinely surprised. I didn't think there were any scyther in Sinnoh. There aren't. Shino replied, confusing Kakashi. This scyther is special. Why is it special? Because it was released into Eterna Forest by Eren, making it the only one in the forest. Oh, I see. Kakashi returned. So why are you looking for it? It is part of a competition. How, you ask? Whoever catches the scyther will receive special training from Eren himself. Shino explained, still looking in all directions. What's so special about this Eren anyway? Naruto called from the back of the group. He jumped a bit when Shino stopped moving. He turned around to face him, looking dark, sunglasses connected with blue eyes. Eren is the forefront of the bug trainer community. He is one of the best bug-type trainers in the world. To receive training from him is nothing short of an honor. Shino glared at Naruto, before turning back around and walking on. Everyone looked at Shino's leading form. So that's why he's so eager to get this scyther. Break. Yanma. Everyone looked to see that Yanma had stopped moving. It was looking dead ahead. Yanma, what is it? Shino asked his Pokemon. A big group of Dustox and Beautifly appeared. Naturally, all the young trainers reached for the Pokédexes. Dustox, the poison moth Pokemon, it is a nocturnal Pokemon that flies from fields and mountains to the attraction of streetlights at night. It looses highly toxic powder from its wings. Beautifly, the butterfly Pokemon, its colorfully patterned wings are its most prominent feature. It flies through flower-covered fields collecting pollen. It attacks ferociously when angered. They're so pretty. Sakura sighed, as she looked at the group of Pokemon, which had stopped on its travels to look at the group of people. Everyone get ready. Shino called out. They appeared to be planning something. That nonsense. Sakura brushed off Shino's warning, as she moved towards the group of Pokemon. At that moment the Dustox and Beautifly began flapping their wings violently, creating a very powerful wind. Sakura! Sasuke shouted. As he ran towards her, he grabbed her by the arm when the Pokemon finished their attack. It's a whirlwind! Sasuke shouted, being closest to the Pokemon. His feet no longer touched the ground, still holding onto Sakura's arm, now also airborne. They were sent flying on the wind away from the group. The attack then reached the rest of the group. Hinata, being lighter than the rest, was the first to go. As she soared through the air, she grabbed onto the first bit of support she could to stay with the group. Unfortunately, the support she grabbed was Naruto's shirt. Damn it! Naruto's leaving voice could be heard cursing as he was blown away. Kakashi and Shino quickly divided behind the trees to avoid getting blown away. Kiba followed suit, ducking behind the trees. The Pokemon glared angrily. No one could be seen. Slowly they carried on with the migration. Waiting for the coast to become clear, Shino, Kakashi and Kiba slowly regrouped. They looked around. No one else appeared to be close by. I will have to postpone my search for Scyther. Why? Because it is more important that we find the others, Shino concluded. We should find them soon, the sun's beginning to set. Kakashi spoke as he looked up, barely seeing the sky through the forest leaves. Kiba grinned and grabbed 2 Pokeballs. Leave finding them to me. He threw the Pokeballs high, revealing 2 small Pokemon. One red with black stripes and white fur on its head and tail, the other covered with different shades of gray fur, with angry red eyes. A Growlithe and a Poochyena. Kakashi liked Kiba's idea. Yeah, they'll sniff out Hinata. Naruto was blown away with her yeah. Kiba grinned at his awesome idea. And Sasuke went with Sakura. So at least they are together. Kakashi spoke as he pulled out a Pokeball of his own. Manectric. A flash from the Pokeball brought forth a blue and yellow Pokemon. It stood as lazily as its trainer. Cool, a Manectric. Kiba was right up in the Pokemon's face, scanning it with his Pokédex. Manectric, the discharged Pokemon. Manectric discharges strong electricity from its mane. The mane is used for collecting electricity in the atmosphere. This Pokemon creates thunderclouds above its head. Manectric, Sakura and Sasuke are lost, can you track them down? Kakashi asked his Pokemon. The Manectric's lazy expression turned more serious, it nodded to its trainer. Manectric. It cried, it began sniffing the air along with Growlithe and Poochyena. They all turned towards the same direction. They must all be at that direction. Kiba spoke, they began running after the Pokemon. But how long would it take to find them all? Break. Naruto's vision was hazy. Ow, my head. He groaned in pain as he sat up, rubbing his temple. He looked around, he had no idea where he was. Those damn Dustox and Beautifly. He muttered under his breath, he remembered their whirlwind attack. His eyes shot open, he remembered that it was Hinata that grabbed him. He looked around again. Hinata lay a few meters away from him, she was out for the count as well. Naruto sighed. Why did it have to be Hinata I got stuck with? He asked himself. He didn't dislike her, but every time he was near her she always seemed dark, timid and really weird. Plus she always seemed to have a major fever, her face was always red and she was nearly sweating bullets. He slowly stumbled back to his feet and walked towards her. He crouched down next to her, she seemed to be quite content with being asleep. A small smile on her lips. Naruto-kun. She whispered softly. Ah! Naruto screamed loudly. Hinata's eyes shot open, followed by her body shooting upright. She looked at Naruto, who looked like he was having a heart attack. She blushed at the sight of him. How the hell did you know it was me when your eyes were closed? He screamed in a panic. Hinata didn't answer. The ground suddenly became very interesting for her. She thought the same thought Naruto had moments ago. Why did I have to be alone with just Naruto-kun? We need to find the others, Hinata. Although I'm not sure how. Naruto scratched his head. Hinata's head popped up, a chance to prove to Naruto that she could be useful. I have an idea. She stammered out as she reached for a Pokeball. Shingling. A small yellow Pokemon appeared. It giggled loudly when it saw Hinata, the soothing sound of a bell being heard. Chingling, the bell Pokemon, there's an orb inside its mouth. When it hops, the orb bounces all over and makes a ringing sound. Naruto put away his Pokédex. Cool. But how's this gonna help? He asked, tickling the Pokemon, making it giggle and produce the bell sound again. Every time Chingling bounces it makes a ringing sound. If we keep it bouncing around, the other are sure to hear it. Hinata explained. Wow, you know you're pretty smart, Hinata. Naruto smiled at her. Blood rushed to Hinata's face, she pressed her fingers together. But the sound will attract wild Pokemon as well. She told him the downside, expecting him to shout at her. Naruto grinned. Leave the wild Pokemon to me. He laughed. Now let's go. Break. Naruto! Kakashi! Sasuke shouted, no echo, so they were probably not going to hear it. This is getting us nowhere fast. Sasuke growled in frustration. We need a faster way to track them down. Sakura spoke from behind, she was quite happy to let him lead them through the forest. I could try to have Sasuke use sweet scent, but it will probably just mix with the forest's own natural scent. Sasuke nodded and pondered for a while. With a snap he clicked his fingers. I have an idea. He pulled out a Pokeball. Go Houndour. Houndour came out in a flash of light and growled. Absolutely not. Sakura shouted, shaking her head and crossing her arms to increase effect. Sasuke looked at her confused. You are not burning down the forest. She scolded him. A sweat dropped from Sasuke's head. He looked at her unimpressed. I was going to have Houndour track Kakashi and Naruto's scent actually. Sakura's eyes widened, followed by a full flush of her cheeks. Her eyes darted to the ground. That makes sense, she whispered. But then an idea came of her own. Go, Sentret. Sentret came out and looked at her happily. Sentret, I need you to go find Kakashi-sensei and Naruto. If you find them, can you bring them back to us? She smiled at her Pokemon. Sentret nodded. It turned to Sasuke, who smirked at it. Sentret glared angrily at him, before sneaking off into the bushes. What was that about? Sasuke questioned Sentret's glare. Sentret, I asked the scouting Pokemon. After all, Sakura smiled, thinking Sasuke meant why she called out Sentret. A group of Burmy sprung out of the bushes. They appeared to be wanting a battle. Sasuke smirked at the bug Pokemon. Houndour mimicked its trainer's smirk, smoke beginning to come out of its mouth. The Burmy jumped back a bit in fear. Leave the Pokemon to me. Sasuke smirked happily. This was gonna be a good day. Break. Kakashi, Kiba and Shino were following their Pokemon. Naruto, Hinata, Sasuke and Sakura all seemed to be in the same direction. Perhaps they had already met up. All what's left now would be to find them. Scyther. A large green Pokemon jumped out, its large swords for hands reflecting light off them. They looked at the Scyther, a small beeper tied around its arm. That is the tracker that Eren is using to monitor when Scyther is caught, Shino explained. The Scyther seemed to be fixated on Shino. Shino in return stared at the Scyther. Moments passed before Shino made the first move. Excuse us. He nodded to the Scyther and began walking on. Wait a minute, Shino, this is your only chance, catch it. Kiba attempted to persuade him. I can't right now, it is more important to find the others, perhaps another time. Shino returned. You know, we can probably find them without you. Kakashi reminded him, pointing at the sniffing dog Pokemon. Stay here and catch it, it is your only chance. Shino looked down for a moment, before pulling out a Pokeball. Yenma. Go with Kakashi and Kiba. When you find the others, lead them to Eterna Mansion. The exit is just next to it. I will meet you there, Shino told them. He turned to face the Scyther. At that moment, Sentret's head bobbed out of the bushes. It scurried along the ground and pulled on Kakashi's pants leg. This is Sakura's Sentret, he told Kiba. It can lead us back to Sakura. Lead the way, Sentret. He looked to the Pokemon. It nodded before scurrying back into the bushes, Kakashi and Kiba hot on its tail. Shino looked at the Scyther. Cricketun battle. A red bug Pokemon appeared, rubbing its two forelegs together, creating a soothing music on its arrival. Cricketun looked at the Scyther and stopped playing. The Scyther took the first move, using a quick attack to strike Cricketun fast. Cricketun quickly recovered from the attack. Cricketun Fury Cutter. Cricketun moved towards Scyther and slashed in rapid succession. Again. Cricketun Fury Cutter. Shino commanded. Once again Cricketun cut away at Scyther, dealing more damage. Another Fury Cutter. Cricketun moved towards Scyther, but this time Scyther recovered and moved away from Cricketun's attack. The Scyther whirled its swords around, sending a wave of pure vacuum at Cricketun. I see, that was vacuum wave, Shino commented. He had no more time to think as Scyther charged towards Cricketun, preparing a wing attack. Cricketun dodge and use false swipe, Shino called. Cricketun successfully doing both, cutting away at Scyther again. Cricketun one more false swipe. The stoic, level-headed boy commanded his Pokemon. Once again Cricketun swiped away at Scyther, inflicting great damage this time. Shino recognized Scyther's swarm ability beginning to activate. Wasting no more time, Shino went for the finisher. Cricketun sing. Cricketun rubbed its long forelegs together. A calming, relaxing tune was created. The anger from Scyther's eyes faded away and began a fight to keep its eyes open. Without a moment lost, Shino brought out an empty Pokeball and threw it. It connected with the sleeping Scyther, sucking it into the ball. The ball wobbled violently on the ground, before stopping with a ping. Thank you for that battle, Cricketun. Shino looked towards Cricketun. It cried a happy tune as it was returned to its own Pokeball. Shino walked over and picked up his new Scyther. He stared at the Pokeball. With this he could learn the secrets of strong bug Pokemon. He looked towards the direction where Kiba and Kakashi left. I hope that they are all okay. He spoke as he moved towards the exit, where he promised to meet them all. Break. Naruto and Hinata enter a small and unusually placed clearing within the forest. Dead in the center was a large, shiny, glowing green rock. It looked like it was covered in moss. The trees were surrounding the clearing, but they were organized in a straight square as if not wanting to disturb the area. The orange sunset could be clearly seen in the sky. basking the blooming flowers in its light. Naruto and Hinata looked to the floor. Hundreds of Volbeat and Illumise were gathered around each other, buzzing away. Break. At the same moment, Sakura and Sasuke entered the very same clearing, but on the other side. It was a magical sight to behold. Within an instant, the Volbeat and Illumise took to flight. Lighting up their behinds, they chose a partner and began dancing around the large glowing rock, circling their chosen partner, never out of step or behind. Each pair performed their own dance routine, yet it was still in sync with the rest of the swarm. Small particles of shiny dust floated in the air. The lights struck out from the evening sunset. Break. Both girls gasped in awe at the sight. Everything looked beautiful. They glanced at the male companion and blushed, thinking a similar thought. How romantic. Both of the boys were fixated on the dancing bug Pokemon, albeit for an entirely different reason than the girls. I wonder how much experience my Pokemon will get for battling all of these, was Naruto and Sasuke's shared thought. Within an instant, it was all gone. The sun set further and the Volbeat and Illumise flew away, leaving the clearing empty except for the glowing rock. With everything gone, they could see the other twosome from across the field. They walked towards each other and regrouped. About time you showed up, idiot. We've been looking for you for ages. Sasuke quickly spoke. I could say the same thing, Sasuke. Naruto quickly returned. Instead of words, they opted to use their eyes, staring at each other accusingly, egging the other to make the first move. Sentret suddenly scurried onto the field and quickly climbed up Sakura, rubbing against her cheek and snuggling on her shoulder. It was soon followed by Kakashi and Kiba, with a Growlithe, Puchina and Manectric. A Yanma flying above their heads. Are we glad we found you? Kiba panted out. We need to go, it's getting dark. We don't want to be in here when it's dark. Murkrow and Mischievous come out when it's dark. Kakashi added, looking at the darkening sky. Murkrow. The name sparked Sasuke's interest. The next gym used grass types. How dark could it last by itself? Follow Shino's Yanma, it will lead us to the exit. Kiba instructed the rest of the group, the Yanma already taking off in the opposite direction, giving them no time to talk more. Break. Shino sat at the bank of the pond. Yanma suddenly rested onto his shoulder. He petted it before returning it to its ball. It was soon followed by the rest of the group arriving next to him. So you made it out. Shino spoke as stoic as ever. Yeah. Kiba panted again. Did you catch it? Shino nodded and pulled out a pokeball, spinning it on his finger, then placing it back into the pocket of his baggy white coat. That's good. Well done, Shino-kun. Hinata congratulated him. I don't believe it. Shino's awesome. Naruto spoke dumbfounded. Yes, well done. A voice spoke from behind them. A young man with lime green hair, piked up into one needle-like spiked, moved towards them. A smile on his face. Hey Aaron. Shino spoke, shocking everyone with the stutter. Finally someone caught Scyther. I was beginning to get bored. Aaron laughed. As promised, I will teach you the secrets to unlocking the true beauty of bug Pokemon, however, only if you are willing to accept. Shino didn't answer. He turned to Kiba and Hinata. Kiba, Hinata. If I take this opportunity, what will you do? Why do I ask? Because we must remain together until one of us has won 3 badges or 2 ribbons. If I take this, you two will be stuck here and cannot press onwards to Hearthome. Actually, I'm going to Hearthome anyway. Aaron butted in. Just giving them a heads up. Kiba smiled and nodded towards Shino, who nodded in return. Very well. Aaron, if you will have me, I will happily accept your training. Excellent, well let's get a move on. Aaron smiled happily and walked away, Shino walking soon after. Kiba looked at Naruto and Sasuke and smiled. Remember, I still expect to wipe the floor with you. He ran after Shino. Hinata blushed and looked at Naruto. She fidgeted on the spot. Kiba's voice from a distance could be heard, telling her to hurry up. She was startled a bit. Goodbye Kakashi-san, Sakura-san, Sasuke-kun, Naruto-kun. She quickly ran away after her 2 teammates, leaving Team 7 alone. Well, who's hungry? Naruto shouted, patting his stomach. He quickly received a punch on the head by Sakura. Wait to spoil the moment, you idiot! Sakura screeched loudly. Break. Team 7 sat in the cafe in the Eterna City Pokemon Center. Naruto sat inhaling food at an unbelievably fast pace. Sasuke sat next to him, also inhaling all the food. Sakura sat next to Kakashi. She only ate small amounts, but the older man ate nothing. Well, that was an eventful day, huh? Naruto mumbled out, his cheeks filled with food. Yeah, it was. Sakura spoke softly, taking a small glance of the raven-haired boy sat next to Naruto. Yeah, Kakashi added. Everything went silent for a few minutes. The only sound audible was the sound of Naruto's gorging. Well, see ya. Kakashi smiled as he broke the silence, standing up. See you back at the room, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto waved, not taking his eyes off the food. No, this is where I leave you guys, Kakashi explained. The silence returned, even Naruto stopped eating, noodles hanging halfway out of his mouth. Where are you going? Sasuke asked. Kakashi sighed and fiddled around in his pocket. I tried to tell you earlier, but you were in such a rush to get to Eterna. Kakashi pulled a folded piece of paper out of his pocket and handed it to Sakura, who read it aloud. Kakashi Hatake. After many successful years as Hokage, leader of the 5 Kages, Hiruzen Sarutobi, aka the Professor, has finally decided to retire from his position, after having to take it back up when the current Hokage at that time went on to become champion of the world. After much deliberation, Sarutobi has personally elected you to become his successor as Hokage. His choice was backed up by the approval and recommendation of the current champion of the world, Minato Namikaze. As the son of the previous world champion, Tsukumo Hatake, we are delighted and honored to have you join our ranks as Hokage. The Kazekage, Mizukage, Reikage and Setsukage have all approved of your selection. Congratulations again. Sakura finished reading the letter. She gave it back to Kakashi with a shaky hand. Sasuke's eyes were widened, farther than Kakashi had ever seen them. Naruto dropped everything from his mouth. You mean that your Sasuke began? That's right. Right now, I am the Godame Hokage, leader of the 5 Kages. The final challenge before facing the champion of the world. But that's crazy, you can't leave us! Naruto shouted. Didn't you hear? I don't have a choice. Personally selected by the Sandaime Hokage, recommended by the champion of the world, already approved by the other Kages, there's no way I can turn it down. I have to do this. Kakashi told them lazily, like he hadn't been affected by the title of power. Well, but who will teach all the stuff about Pokemon, like proper care and training? Sakura asked, tears beginning to form in her eyes. Kakashi sighed. He didn't really want to leave, he was enjoying the easy lifestyle. I'm sorry. BT, if it will make you feel better, I will give you one last lesson. His students looked up at him. Perhaps the most important one yet. How to face the impossible odds. And how are we supposed to learn that? Sasuke added. He didn't seem to be that affected with his leaving, but he was probably just masking his feelings. Kakashi's eye closed slightly, indicating that his face was present with a smirk instead of a smile. You 3 are going to team up. In a 6-on-6 battle. Against me. What if Naruto wants to become a Pokemon master? End here and thanks for watching my video till the end.